going on, but we're having a bit of an issue here. So it's us dry.
I
This
love
is
it.
like eating a turkey without gravy.
Oh my gosh. It's easier if the meat is juicy
Mm-hmm.
and not too dry. But at any
No,
rate,
no, this is the turkey eaten or made by your aunt who doesn't really cook and forgot the gravy. That's what this
and
is.
all white
So
meat. It's just all white meat. You don't even get the good, like juicy dark meat like the legs and
that's right. It's the Chris and Amy show. Amy Marks and Chris Ranji until 1:00 today. By God, is it good to have you with us on this hot, hot day here in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, and the
and
surrounding area.
and we will get back to
We're
that
going to get back to it
because
because I got a problem.
he's got a problem with it.
Yeah.
Also, we can still listen to you, take your calls, get your thoughts. And if you have the Odyssey app, well, that's still up and running.
It
and
is.
you can go to the KMOX page on the Odyssey app. There's a microphone icon right in the middle of the page.
Awesome.
We would love to hear from you.
Of course, we can still play those, we think. So go ahead and leave them for us on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Time now for our top 3. These are the stories everybody's talking about. That's what the show usually sounds like to get going. There is a new hearing for death row inmate Marcellus Williams that is happening today. We will get the latest on it.
And another indictment for Trump is filed in the January 6th case. Very, very similar to the last indictment with some changes made.
And the Cardinals lose to the Padres last night by a final of 7-5, game 3 of 4. There is still an opportunity for them to split the series at Busch Stadium, but they need a win tonight. They need a win tomorrow afternoon. It has just not been very good for your St. Louis Cardinals. And we are going to talk to John Rooney today on the show. We've got Major Garrett joining us on the show today. This is 2 weeks in a row. He's had stuff going on Thursdays, so we've adjusted a little bit. Usually we have him on Thursdays after the 10:30 news, but we're going to talk to him today, and there's a lot going on, so it's great that we have the opportunity to speak to him. It actually works out great. We are continuing with our trades week. Amy and I saluting the trades this week, and we will talk to we will talk to somebody from IBEW today, Local 1. We are going to speak to somebody from KB Electric as well.
It's a big electric
We're doing
day.
electric today.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. So Tim Green is the executive vice president of the IBEW NECA Electrical Connection as well. Served IBEW for more than 40 years. He's also a former state representative and state senator. And then we've got KB Electric President Paul Conan and project manager Kevin Renaud joining us in studio. So we salute the trades, and our big emphasis today is electric.
Yeah, we're talking a lot of electricity today, which is good because we need electricity.
My parents had some construction done on their house when almost 30 years ago when my brother was little, and he loved construction. He would watch on the old VHS tapes all of those construction videos where it would just be like backhoes and construction equipment, pavers, just music and construction equipment, no narrative, nothing. And he would just watch those for hours. And so when they had construction done on their house, he had his little plastic tool belt. He put it on. He was like 3 or 4 years old in a little hard hat, and he would follow the guys around to see what they were doing. And I remember one time one of the electricians like, "You want to do this?" My mom's like, "I don't think he could do electric," but he did get to, put a penny in the wall where they were building the wall and the drywall. It was very, very exciting.
Wait, what is this penny in the wall thing?
I think like you can put a penny in the wall, like the year you get a penny from the year that you did the work.
So like when the building gets torn down in 200 years, they'll say, "Oh, look at this penny. This must have been the year."
Maybe.
Kind of like a time capsule.
Did you do a time capsule before the year 2000?
I didn't do one personally. I'm trying to think if we did one in high school, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
Wouldn't I remember that?
I feel like you would. We did a couple of them. We did one with my grandparents and one with friends. But
where'd you bury them?
I have no idea. You could put something that was culturally relevant.
Are they in a yard somewhere?
Probably.
Huh.
I have no idea where they are. Okay, getting back to
the heat.
Do you want to start with the heat?
I feel like we have been bamboozled.
Okay, tell us why you walked into the studio today so unbelievably frustrated after harassing me and our producer, Matt Pajeski,
Mhm.
with angry, vulgar texts about the heat.
Let me tell you what happened
Okay.
last night. I've got my Amazon Alexa sitting in my house,
Mhm.
and the little you get the little ring notification, the little yellow flashing light that says, "Hey, you've got a notification." So I said, "Okay, what's the notification?" And I'm getting weather warnings from it now. I don't know how this happened, but it started recently, and it says the heat advisory has been extended to Thursday at 7 p.m. And I said, "What in the hell are you talking about?" Because for several days, the heat advisory was supposed to expire last night at 9 o'clock. And now it's 2 days longer? How? How are we off by 2 days?
See, and I think we had different weather sources.
I was looking at multiple weather sources.
Somehow I knew that it would be hot through Friday because on Sunday, my coach sent a text to the team and he said, I run, right? Running coach. He said, all right, it's going to be hot all week, but it looks like it will break in time for Saturday morning.
Well,
Were
my
you-
understanding was it was supposed to be better by like today, tomorrow. Today was going to ease up. Tomorrow was going to be a whole lot better.
Well, I don't
Well,
think that's true.
we've been lied to.
No.
We have been lied to
Listen.
by all of the meteorologists. They have lied to us.
If you're a meteorologist listening right now and you're offended, as you should be, again, you can leave us a text 636
636.
314.
Where do you think we are?
I don't know.
We're not in West County.
314-436-7900. Or you can use the Odyssey app, go to the KMOX homepage, use a mic drop. Here's what I learned on Total Information AM this morning or yesterday morning. They're talking about air quality. And I don't know what I thought air quality was. I just thought it was bad, like it might be hard to breathe. I didn't really think of it as being
I thought it was like pollen and
damaging.
all the stuff that's in the air.
It's not.
Like
It's
that.
like concentrated pollutants as well because of the heat, because of the lack of air movement. So the air quality, it's why it gets so hazy. And they say if you have asthma, if you have breathing issues or something that could be triggered by poor, a respiratory issue that could be triggered by poor air quality, be careful. Green, orange, red, all of that. Yesterday, I ran after work, which was not the smartest thing I've ever done. It
course not.
wasn't the dumbest thing I've ever done. But I will say, all I kept thinking about was the air quality and the pollution. And this is what I feel like today.
Yeah.
I feel like now I know the pollutants are in my lungs.
The plastics.
The plastics.
The plastics are the smog is in your lungs.
Yeah, the estrogens that are floating around from the pollutants.
Estrogens.
Yeah, there's a lot of estrogens in the
Like
pollutants.
those kind of estrogens?
Yeah.
They just float around?
They do. Plastics.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
So this is, if you happen, listen, we're reaching out to you today. If you happen to know, am I going to die? I would like to know. Maybe I should call my parents because I feel like I shouldn't have run yesterday. And then I ran this morning. And again, it was so humid. I felt a little woozy and it wasn't just the heat. I think it was the pollutants.
When it is hot outside,
out of breath.
Do you sometimes feel like the warnings that we get from, the meteorologists, the experts who say, hey, this is not a good day to be outside to do outdoor work. Today, you might want to take it easy. Do you sometimes feel, and I don't want to say that you feel invincible, but it's almost like, well, that warning isn't for me.
That's exactly right. Because
that warning is for other people.
We get too many warnings, just like the tornado warnings. And in Missouri, you hear a tornado alarm, you're like, oh, let's go look outside, see if we see it. Your fire alarm goes off in your building. You don't even get out of bed anymore.
When I see my fire alarm?
Yeah,
no.
right.
That fire alarm, no, I always think it's a false alarm.
You're going to die in a fire.
Which up until this point, 100% of the time, the fire alarm has gone off in my building. It has been a false alarm.
Right.
100%.
That's what I'm saying. And so I think sometimes, because I think a lot of times the truth isn't fabulous enough for people. So, you got to get eyeballs. Maybe the weather people love to lean into the drama. I don't know. I don't want to point fingers. But I know Chris Myhill, the former executive producer of the Charlie Brennan Show, he was a snow truther. He really was.
I remember this.
He was a snow truther. And I think with the warnings with the snow and the snowmageddons that don't pan out, or like, be careful, it's 21 degrees, it's super dangerous. And I just figured that's maybe for people who don't have gear, people who are working outside. It's not for me. This one was for me, and I missed it.
Well, you know what?
I didn't take it
Look,
seriously enough.
yes.
And look at me now.
That's exactly why the warnings exist. They exist so that and on the other side of it, if there is some sort of blizzard, if there is some sort of emergency and people weren't warned about it,
Yeah.
then they don't complain. You'd rather warn them about something that never arrives than not give them the warning at all and be wrong or have missed it.
I agree. I know you absolutely have to, but again, I think it's like the fire alarm. It's the boy who cried wolf.
That's Amy Marks Coors. I'm Chris Ranji. You should be very careful because the heat advisory in St. Louis has been extended because they lied to us. It goes through 7 o'clock tomorrow now. And be very, very careful. I'm telling you, in fact, the notification explicitly said that the heat advisory has been extended to Thursday at 7, which is outrageous. Amy, guess what?
What?
69 days until the election.
100% when you said 69
Nice.
days until, I thought you were going to say Christmas.
I
was like, Christmas?
Hey, we are going to get started soon on with my political action committee, Liberals for Christmas.
That's right. If you support Liberals for Christmas, you can also let us know. This is why we want to hear from you. We want to hear from the people. Our boss, we broke it out for him yesterday. We let him know about Liberals for Christmas, Chris Ranji's campaign.
Yeah, it's happening.
He was less than impressed.
I don't, it doesn't matter to me because we're doing it because Christmas matters to me. Christmas matters. Amy.
It does matter. You know what else matters? The money in your checking account. And
you better believe it.
Yeah, whether or not it's working for you or it's just sitting there doing nothing and you only get rewarded for like moving money around, spending money, not for having a balance. Here's what you need to do. You need to talk to Together Credit Union. They've just launched a brand new high yield checking account. They call it Empowered Checking. So with Empowered Checking, you can earn above market interest on the money you keep in your day-to-day checking account. Interest is paid to you each month. So interest each month for the money that's in your checking account. They say it's a checking account that actually rewards you for balances and not activity. To apply, visit togethercu.org, or you can stop by any one of their 14 local St. Louis branches and work directly with one of their awesome member advocates. I love brick and mortar. I'm a big fan of that. So they have 14 convenient locations. Get paid to save with Empowered Checking. Visit togethercu.org/empower for full terms and details. Membership eligibility required. Together Credit Union, federally insured by the NCUA.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
You entrusted a nursing home with the care of a loved one, but they violated that trust. If your family member has been the victim of nursing home neglect, call Onder Law at 844-BED-SORE.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Turn it up to Pear because this big news only gets better. Mercy Go Health Urgent Care just opened a brand new center located in the DePere Point Shopping Center near Trader Joe's and right next to DePere Dentistry. That means you can now conveniently save your spot online or just walk in to visit with a friendly Mercy provider any night, weekend, or holiday when you need care. Plus, their state-of-the-art centers offer on-site x-rays and labs so you can get the timely services you need in no time at all. Visit Mercy Go Health Urgent Care in DePere today.
It's warm now, but winter will be here before you know it. That's why Banner Construction is having their pre-winter window event. Choose from Banner's various energy-efficient brands and window price points featuring beautiful Pella windows. Banner is a certified Pella contractor and preferred James Hardie specialist. If you've been considering new windows or a fresh new exterior for your home, see Banner's work at bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 and have a banner day.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey guys, Glover here for my friends Mark and Neil Gelman from thegelmanteam.com. If you want immediate cash for your home or to see what your home is actually worth in today's market, find out for free from the local experts. That's my friends Mark and Neil Gelman at thegelmanteam.com.
Navigating politics with a balanced perspective, fostering discussions, not arguments. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
You know, a texter to 314-436-7900 says female estrogens, as we were talking about pollutants in the air.
Well, I think
so the
I think those pollutants might be in the ground. I don't know if they're in the air.
Texter says a female estrogens, or did you mean carcinogens?
No, there are carcinogens.
There are actual estrogens in the air. That's a thing too.
Yes, but also I think primarily as an environmental pollutant, it's like wastewater, lake water, that type of thing. And I think there is in the air from like plastics or something. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. All I know is that, listen to me.
Yeah, you do sound terrible.
That's from running yesterday and today.
I hope you make it.
I don't know, but you know, I will say, as we joke around, with air with air pollution, when you travel to other countries that have horrible air pollution, horrible air quality, you take it for granted that we can just walk outside here and go for a walk or go for a run. Because my friend who his whole family's in India, was in India, he said the air quality was so bad on some of the days that it's literally very, very unhealthy to run.
Yeah.
Another friend in Peru, he was saying when down in the city where he grew up, it's like, oh, no, you would never run there. It's like smoking cigarettes. It's like smoking packs of cigarettes a day just by running. He said he goes out in the mountains out there. But anyway, be careful.
You have to on a day like this and for the next couple. And we're still wondering how many more of these we're going to get through the end of the summer. The days are getting shorter, which indicates that it will start cooling off. And by the way, we are now, I know I mentioned this a few days ago, but if people weren't aware, it is noticeable that the days are getting shorter, that the sunset is happening quicker. We no longer have sunsets post 8 o'clock.
I know.
So we are on the other side of 8 o'clock sunsets. Before you know it, it'll be under 7 o'clock, which is, I don't mind that time of year. I know a lot of people hate it. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the early darkness.
Yeah, I'm not. It's kind of,
I think I'm a
depresses me.
vampire.
Hey, I wanted to do a quick update. We've been following the Marcellus Williams case. Marcellus Williams is scheduled to be executed on September 24th. This is with connection to the 1998 stabbing death of Leisha Gale in the St. Louis suburb of View City. He was charged with that murder. Then there was an appeal to his execution by the prosecution saying new DNA evidence. We do have it now. And according to a 2021 Missouri law, prosecutors, they can seek to vacate a conviction if they believe that conviction was unjust. And St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Wesley Bell filed that request in January after reviewing DNA testing That was new. It was not available when Williams was convicted in 2001. And it showed a third party, an unknown male, had his DNA on the murder weapon. As it turns out, just last week, when it was very confusing when he was having his innocence hearing, the two sides, the prosecution, Wesley Bell's side, and then Attorney General Andrew Bailey, who was seeking to stop that appeal process, they talked behind closed doors for a long time. And as it turned out, that DNA evidence of the unknown third male belonged to the lead trial lawyer back in 1998.
Which I guess at the time was not unusual.
No.
They say the rules were, they didn't handle the evidence improperly then. Or
Right.
improperly.
Well, right. So it belonged to the lead prosecutor and lead investigator. That was the DNA on the murder weapon. Now, they say that evidence doesn't count anymore because it was mishandled. But like you said, at that time, that was not considered mishandling. Either way, what it does mean is that exonerating evidence doesn't exist. It never did. So then the judge said, okay, he's going to, instead of having a hearing, the judge was going to say, instead of being put to death, Marcellus Williams, you're going to spend life in prison. That's what they agreed to. And that was pushed back upon, saying the judge does not have the unilateral power without a hearing to overturn a jury conviction.
Right now, he is expected, or not expected, the execution date is September 24th, so we are less than a month away from that. I imagine that from his perspective, and he continues to maintain his innocence, that maybe you'll do anything, even if that's, hey, if my only option is I will take life in jail, no parole, I don't want to die, then that's what you're going to take, right? I mean, he's been in prison for a while. I assume that he has assimilated into that life. So he would rather do that than be put to death. Now, to me, the entire thing screams of reasonable doubt because the two witnesses who came forward against him, questionable witnesses. The person who said that he was told in jail while Williams was in jail for a separate crime that he did it, and the guy was really interested in that reward money. Like, that was the first thing he talked about when talking to authorities. It was about how much money is he going to get and how quickly is he going to get it. Also, the woman involved here, too. Questionable witnesses. So,
to be clear, that is not what they are looking at. They can't look at that. That has been done. Those witnesses were there when the trial took place. The jury heard it. The jury took them at their word and they convicted him to a death penalty. So while we may look back and say, hey, they had motivated reasoning, that's not what they're looking at now.
I'm looking at it from a 10,000-foot view, and it just seems to me there's a ton of reasonable doubt here. And the bottom line is it still feels to me like somebody may be on death row wrongfully.
Yes. Well, I mean,
taking all of it into account. And I get it legally, I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, I'm just looking at everything. This looks like an innocent man is about to die, or somebody at least who has a good likelihood of being innocent here. So we'll see what happens with this hearing. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji. When we come back, we're going to talk to Major Garrett on a Wednesday. A lot happening politically, and he's got our backs next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
I'm John Morgan. When you call Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, your very own army springs into action immediately. 24/7. Our investigators, legal staff, and over 900 lawyers work together to fight to get you the best result as quickly and easily as possible. Insurance companies know who we are, and now you know it too. This firm was built for greatness. This firm was built for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
10:30, clouds 86 downtown at the Arch. Israel has launched a major military operation in the occupied West Bank that has killed at least 10 Hamas militants. Israel said the operation is aimed at preventing attacks on Israeli civilians. On the roads, we've got a crash 141 going north at Burgundy Lane, and we've also got a crash that's been cleared on 270 south at 55. Heat advisory through 7 p.m. tomorrow. We've got a high today of 93 with a chance of a thunderstorm. Low tonight 76, high tomorrow of 96. Right now we've got clouds. It's 86 downtown at the Arch. Sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm.
The Cardinals had a one-run lead in the 7th inning last night, but could not hold it, and they end up losing to the Padres by a 7-5 score. Miles Michaelis makes the start against his former team, going 5 2/3 innings, allowing 4 runs on 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Paul Goldschmidt hits his 20th home run of the year. Cardinals have lost the first 2 games of the 4-game series against the Padres. The series continues tonight. Andre Palante on the mound, looking for his 7th win. First pitch at 6:45. Our coverage begins at 5:50. With the Redbird Report, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Fantasy freaks and geeks. What's cracking? It's your boy James Kell back with my brand new project, the Sleeper King Football Podcast. Look, I get it. Okay, there's a lot of fantasy pods out there, but we're going to keep this one light, 15 to 20 minutes, 4 to 5 times a week. And man, we are going to pack it with all the info you need. Season long, weekly projections, and of course, sleepers. Follow and listen to the Sleeper King Football Podcast on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
At Scrubbles, we're not just about cleaning your car, we're about giving you the freshest ride inside and out. Join now and enjoy a special offer for new members. For just $9.95 per month for the first 2 months, experience the benefits of our Scrubby Scrapping, Ultimate, Super, or Deluxe memberships. With 7 Scrubbles locations open and another coming soon to Wentzville, your membership is valid in all 8 locations. Visit ScrubblesExpressWash.com today to purchase your Scrubbles membership and find a wash near you.
This is Chad with Clayman Real Estate, KLAMEN Group.com. Do you have a house that you need to sell, but you're not sure when you want your closing date to be? Maybe you're looking for a new house to buy and you're not sure when you can sell your current house. Maybe you're going to a senior living facility and not sure when you're going to be allowed in. We can provide a flexible closing date for you. If you need to close tomorrow or you need to close in 6 months, that's okay for us. Push it up or back, whatever's best for you. Clayman, KLAMEN Group.com. Call today for a flexible sale.
Hey guys, Glover here for Universal Windows Direct. Call 314-334-2522 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. And for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. Remember, Universal Windows Direct backs it up with a true lifetime warranty as long as you own the home and a 20-year warranty to the next homeowner. Tell them I told you to call and get an additional $250 off your project. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to UWD.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows. 314-334-2522.
Bernie Nicholas gets the final word during sports on a Sunday morning. This Sunday at 11:45 on KMOX.
We are, as I said, 69 days away from the general election. Nice. We are getting closer and closer. Usually we talk to Major Garrett on a Thursday, but we have the pleasure to speak with him today on this Wednesday. We go to the Quiver River Electric guest line, Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News. You will hear him on a couple of podcasts, The Takeout and Agent of Betrayal. His book is The Big Lie, Upholding Truth in the Age, Upholding Democracy in the Age of, oh God, I can't remember.
The Big Lie?
Anymore. The Big Lie. It's The Big Lie.
Oh my gosh,
It's the
Major.
I've said it a million times, and for some reason I'm stumbling on it.
It's because it's Wednesday.
Hey, Major, ask me my social security number now. Upholding, wait. This is all from memory. The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the
Upholding
Big
Truth.
Lie. Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. Well
Damn.
done. Well done. Well done.
All
and
from memory.
thank you for playing the Led Zeppelin cut, which I now regard as the Joe Biden presidential debate memorial rock and roll hit. Nobody's fault but mine.
That's actually quite good. Yeah,
because remember, that's what he said after the debate. Nobody's fault but mine. And that's the name of that song. Blind Willie Johnson did that song originally, a great blues master, and then Led Zeppelin re-recorded it, made it a huge hit. But that I regard now and forever will regard as the President Biden presidential debate memorial rock and roll hit. Nobody's fault but mine.
Well, you can probably assign that to the entire situation, though. The Democrats have had a bump here with Kamala Harris getting the nomination. But the fact they had to do this so late in the game, it is really all on him.
Sure, but it's a newly imagined presidential campaign, completely uncharted territory for Democrats, for independents, for non-Trumpist Republicans, and for the Trump campaign. It's a new world, and it's one that the Harris campaign is trying to maintain that sense of momentum post-convention, post-Chicago. It's interesting that they will be in Georgia today. Not interesting that it'll be in Georgia. It's a battleground state for sure, but where are they going to be in Georgia? Southern Georgia, not Fulton County, not the counties surrounding Atlanta, which everyone regards as the epicenter of Democratic strength in Georgia. No, they're going to go in rural Georgia. Why? Not because they expect to win those counties, but they are trying to do something that Democrats have shied away from for the last 8 to 10 years, which is taking their message into rural parts of the country, not with the expectation that they're going to win, but that they can eat into Republican margins, soften hostility there, which means if they perform to historical standards in urban and suburban parts of Georgia, they might have a chance of winning it bigger. And right now, the Harris-Walz campaign is not only looking to win, but win bigger because they feel they're in a position to do that.
You mentioned the rural areas and the working class voter. That was perhaps one of Hillary Clinton's flaws in her campaign in 2016. Didn't focus on that, and she needed to.
She did. There were a lot of assumptions built into the 2016 campaign on Hillary Clinton's side. Almost every single one of those assumptions proved to be fatally wrong. One, that the upper Midwest was safe and secure, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. They weren't. Michigan and Wisconsin were barely touched by the Hillary Clinton campaign. Yes, there were organized presence there, but they didn't go there. They didn't spend a lot of time there. And just think about one statistic in Michigan, one statistic only. Wayne County, which is where Detroit is, 80,000 people who voted for Barack Obama in 2012 didn't bother to show up in 2016. 80,000, more than the outcome in that state for Trump. If those 80,000 people just showed up and did what they did 4 years before for Hillary Clinton that they did for Barack Obama, she'd have won Michigan. Okay? That kind of blindness about what they needed to do, what the strategic imperatives were, a lot of built-in assumptions about generalized strength for the Hillary Clinton campaign proved to be not only wrong, but fatally wrong. The Harris-Walz campaign will not make that. The sense of Democratic trauma has been in existence since 2016. I guarantee you this. Even if the polls show the week before Election Day on November 5th that Harris is up 10 points nationally, nobody in the campaign is going to treat it that way because of everything they remember from 2016. And they know historically, what does former President Trump do? He outperforms his polls, usually by 3 to 4 points. So right now, Harris has got a 2 to 3 point lead. That means it's still really, really close. This is a race that is on a knife's edge. Harris has momentum, and it's real, no question about it. And there's energy and all that. It's good stuff, but it's still very close.
As we sit here at the end of August, the special counsel Jack Smith yesterday has pretty much brought back into the forefront the indictment against former President Trump. There is a new grand jury indictment as it pertains to the 2020 election. So what's the fallout from it? How does it affect the upcoming election now?
It's a brief story this week. It's not going to be a consistent story through the fall because this is not going to trial before the election. It's on a very elongated schedule now. And the backdrop for this election will be if former President Trump is returned to the White House, he has made it very clear his attorney general will end all federal investigations into former President Trump. So a backdrop for this election is, are you voting for accountability for former President Trump? Yes or no? That'll be part of the question that voters will have to answer. Jack Smith had to refile the indictment because there was new guidance from the Supreme Court on what an official act is of the presidency and a president, and what's therefore indictable and not indictable. So he took some things out of the original indictment, all interactions between the former president when he was president and the Justice Department, clearly understanding that would in all likelihood fall under the official conduct rubric of the Supreme Court. Take that out. Described the January 6th speech on the ellipse not as an official act of the president, but a campaign event, as a political actor trying to overthrow an election that was about to be certified on Capitol Hill. Jack Smith says that's a political act. He's a campaigner, not president. Well, maybe Judge Chutkan, the federal judge who oversees this, will agree. Maybe she won't, but that's Jack Smith's orientation to that division between what's an official act and what's a political act. But this is not going to trial. It is going to be a very much background issue for this election. And I would say this, one of the things that gave former President Trump political life earlier this calendar year was the constant menace and threat of legal jeopardy. That has more or less been delayed to his satisfaction. His lawyers wanted these delays, and it's sort of been lifted from the conversation, and it's not going to be a big part of the conversation between now and Election Day. I don't know whom that benefits, but I do know it takes one aspect of victimhood and persecution complex away from former President Trump and many of his supporters. Maybe that will have no effect whatsoever. Maybe it will make them a little less energized. I don't know. The reality is it's less of a specter than it was earlier this year. And when it was a specter earlier this year, it appeared to give him a kind of a political charge.
Major, going to the debate on September 10th between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, there's a big kerfuffle over live mics versus dead mics when it's not the candidate's turn to speak. Kamala Harris, it seems her campaign is pushing for live mics, and I don't want to assume, but it seems a live mic would give her an opportunity, knowing Trump cannot control himself. It would give her an opportunity to say, I'm speaking, or have that kind of indignant girl boss moment, which you kind of, when you go into a debate, you have to think of those clip-worthy moments. Is that potentially one reason why they want live mics for Donald Trump?
Sure. And it's interesting. And they also want to contrast with President Biden, because President Biden's campaign made it a very big point of negotiation to have muted mics. So she doesn't want to do it the way President Biden did it in many ways, and this one in particular. And if you remember the vice presidential debate with Mike Pence, there were several instances where Kamala Harris seized the microphone by saying, I am speaking. Kind of that girl boss moment, as you mentioned. I am speaking. Don't interrupt me. I am speaking. I'm asserting my authority. Do not try to speak over me. And those exchanges and interchanges matter, especially if, and there are some things that are different about 2016, but one thing isn't different than 2016. The nation is still having to decide what its relative comfort is or isn't with a woman president of the United States. And I'm not uncomfortable with a woman president of the United States. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what the nation thinks. And until we have a woman president, we have this unresolved question of comfortability. Are we ready? Are we willing to do this? Until we've done it, the answer is we don't know. And so in a debate, you want to show strength and firmness and a capability to interact with someone who's coming at you strong. A live mic gives you more opportunities to do that.
Major Garrett, Chief Washington correspondent for CBS News, with us here on KMOX. Aside from the debate, before that happens, finally, we are getting a Kamala Harris interview. It will happen with CNN tomorrow, and it is a joint interview with Harris and Tim Walz. Any thoughts on the joint interview?
Good luck. Have fun. There'll be another, and then there'll be another, and then we can get away from this ridiculous notion that that is the only measure of whether a campaign is succeeding or not. Fine, go ahead. Have as many interviews as you want, or as few interviews as you want, because ultimately the voters are going to make their own judgment based on what they see and what they hear and what they consume. Interviews are part of that process, but they're not the only part of the process, to be certain. And I do find it, I'm going to try to maintain a kind of emotional neutrality, but it's difficult for me. I do find it precious beyond belief, that the candidate, then Republican Party nominee, then President of the United States, then Republican nominee again, Donald Trump, who for the better part of 10 years has told me personally to my face and every other reporter who's covered him that I am slime, that I am worthless, that I am corrupt, fake. And suddenly we have become so valuable as interlocutors with people on the political stage, so valuable in our questions, so valuable in our probing look for truth. When did that happen? Oh, I know when it happened. When Trump couldn't drive the narrative entirely by himself. And he needed what? A free and independent press to ask questions of another candidate. Well, I'm glad he's come around to understanding the value of a free press, but I do find it precious that it took him all this time and political circumstances that are no longer favorable to him to realize that whether you like the press or not, we're not going away. We play a valuable role, and it's just precious to me that he's come around.
Well, Major, who is on your podcast this week?
I told you I was going to try not to be emotional.
No, I love when you are.
You got to be real.
But it's a little hard for me to restrain at least some of my inner emotionality about this. So, as we know, this is 3 years this week since the U.S. military withdrawal from Afghanistan and the attack at Abbey Gate that took the lives of 13 service personnel. There's a brand new documentary out called Hollywood Gate. And I interviewed the director of it, Ibrahim Nusrat, who spent a year with the Taliban immediately after the U.S. withdrawal. And he spent time with the Taliban as they went through this one particular CIA base in Afghanistan. And what does he see? He sees all this equipment left behind, much of which has been disabled by the U.S. military as they rushed to leave Afghanistan. And this documentary establishes that the Taliban has rebuilt most of it, rebuilt most of the helicopters and the airplanes, and intend to use them. These are now military pieces of equipment of value to the Taliban. And how they did it and why they did it and what their intentions are, all revealed in this documentary. And Ibrahim Nusrat, who did the documentary, is my guest this week.
Major Garrett, as always, it is wonderful to talk to you, and we will do it again next week.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you.
Major Garrett, Chief Washington Correspondent for CBS News. Catch both of his podcasts, The Agent of Betrayal and The Takeout. You can hear him on the Odyssey app, or wherever you get your podcasts. That's where you can hear us. And that's where you can leave us a voice message by tapping the mic icon and sending it to us. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
One of the country's most storied collegiate soccer rivalries is coming to City Park in downtown West. Sunday, September 8th. Don't miss St. Louis University and Southern Illinois University Edwardsville men's soccer teams facing off in the historic Bronze Boot Clash. Both universities' women's soccer teams will also take the field, promising an action-packed day of competitive local NCAA Division I soccer. Get your tickets now at SeatGeek.com. That's SeatGeek.com.
We all know how important nutrition is to our health, and now is the time to do something about it. With Neovitamin Women's Multivitamin, you can give your body sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to support your daily health. Created by a St. Louis physician, Neovitin Women's Multivitamin is formulated with our proprietary blend for daily support you won't find anywhere else. Best of all, you can get Neovitin Women's Multivitamin delivered right to your door with our convenient monthly subscription. Go to neovitin.com and sign up for a subscription today.
We can get more sleep, we can get more sun, and we can get more exercise. But the one thing that we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies. 618-361-4232 or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., an SEC-registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918615.
Saturdays are made for soccer and City SC on Y98.
Headed down Parker! They shoot this goal!
Whether you're running around town watching your kids from the sidelines or making the time to give blood and save lives by making your appointment at Impact Life, your community blood center. Make your appointment today at bloodcenter.org/soccer. And remember, you can always catch the City SC game anywhere on the Odyssey app and on Y98, your home for St. Louis City Soccer.
Labor Day signals that fall is fast approaching. Apple picking, fall leaves, and chilly nights are on the horizon. With Legacy Box, you can cozy up and watch something special this fall. Your family's home movies. Legacy Box is the simple, safe, all-inclusive solution for preserving your family's memories trapped on videotapes, film, even photos. After 10 years in business, Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer. They've helped over 1 million families relive their wedding days, babies' first steps, and family road trips. Just fill Legacy Box with your VHS tapes, film reels, or pictures. Legacy Box digitizes it all by hand right here in the USA, and then sends it back on a thumb drive or the cloud. Future-proof your recorded moments today so you can gather the family and begin the trip down memory lane. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering 55% off. Go to legacybox.com/value to get 55% off. That's legacybox.com/value.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan with a quick reminder. Schedule that annual eye exam. Routine eye exams not only diagnose vision changes, but can detect systemic diseases like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, thyroid disease, to name just a few. Do what I do. Call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000. The doctors there, Greg Birdie, Ranj Malhotra, Samuel Berry, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, will provide you with the area's most comprehensive eye exam. These doctors can also help with dry eye disease, the result of staring at screens, flying in airplanes, or living in a dry environment. Dry eye sounds harmless, but it can cause inflammation, blurred vision, and damage to the eye surface that's sometimes difficult to reverse. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates are expert in diagnosis and treatment of dry eye disease. 314-966-5000, yourEyeDoc.com.
Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota and Newbold BMW. I am so confident that my team will take care of every one of your service and sales needs. I'll give you my cell phone, 618-791-5470. Newbold Toyota or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
I'm Roger Brand, and this is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Are you freaking kidding me? No way!
You gotta be kidding me. Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that. Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy?
Ever knock anything over when you were a kid,
Oh
Ron?
my God, is this about the jar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, go
So-
ahead with this one
okay.
because I was going to bring this to your attention too.
So a 4-year-old boy
Mhm.
was touring a museum in Israel when he accidentally knocked over a 3,500-year-old jar and smashed it to smithereens. According to the BBC, the crockery dated back to the Bronze Age, perhaps as old as 2200 BC.
Mhm.
It was a rare artifact primarily because it was intact.
All right.
I feel
Here, do you want to know the part that really offends me about this?
what?
The museum saying, quote, We are appealing to parents. Don't be afraid. Things like this happen. We will fix the jar and put it back.
No, they didn't say that.
Yes, they did.
No.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. A representative told a news outlet in Israel that's how they feel.
Mhm.
They don't want the parents to be upset. No. Everybody involved should be in jail.
Listen.
The parents should be in jail. That kid should have to spend at least one night in jail.
So
You're told when you go in, hey, don't touch things. You're in a museum. Be careful where you are.
Here's the thing, because you could say, well, the kid was
Prison.
curious. Well, okay. But you also have to learn boundaries and self-discipline. No, so the kid, it wasn't that he bumped into it. He reached up because they were trying to display things without cases.
Even worse.
Reached up, grabbed the rim, and pulled it over to see what was inside.
Yeah.
And it came shattering down.
Yeah. And he should be in prison.
In kiddie prison?
In kid prison.
It's terrible.
Whatever
He's
happens.
4.
Whatever happens in kid prison, that's where he
I don't
should
think
go.
he should go to prison, but I do think you should have a talk about this is, really important not to indulge every inclination.
Yeah, I know. And I think parents are just really bad sometimes. They
Oh
don't
my
they don't
gosh.
corral their children. Sorry.
Is this because of all your children that you have that you
Do you
care
have you
for?
ever I don't have to have children to know other people don't corral their children well.
I will. It's like the dog when people let dogs jump up on you when you go to their houses.
Yes.
That bothers
It's the
me.
exact same thing. I have a friend. She brought this dog. We hadn't seen her in a long time. She brought this dog and it was running everywhere and climbing on top of the couch and yapping. And she's like, well, it's just what he does. No, take the damn dog outside. If you can't corral your dog, don't bring him.
I love dogs. I love
too.
dogs. I'm a dog person, but it is so rude when you let your dog jump up on guests. So not only that, but a friend let her dog jump on me and it scratched my arm and ripped my sweater because, the claws.
And then what did your friend do? What was her reaction?
Oh, that's what he does.
Yeah, yeah.
He scratches me too.
You should go to jail too. Corral your dog. It's outrageous.
You're gonna have to create the Chris Ranji low offense jail. It's for
my
people
God.
who just
Yes.
kind of made mistakes.
Yes. I have and I will build a huge one of those. That jail's going to be the size of an IKEA. We're going to put a lot of people in it. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji, we continue to salute the trades this week, and we will do so with the Executive Vice President of IBEW. That is coming up next. Tim Green joins us on KMOX.
Some people were born with fire under their bum. That's a metaphor for hustle, spunk, good old get up and go. But hustle's hard to find, and when it's hot outside and your inside's losing its cool, it's exactly what you need. Good news. When you call Jerry Kelly because things are going 5-alarm at your place, rest assured you're speaking with a company comprised of folks with fires ablaze beneath their respective behinds, just burning to get you and yours cool again.
JerryKelly.com. At 1-800-GOT-JUNK, we believe.
We believe in repurposing the junk we make disappear.
We donate the donatables so that a new family can love them.
Those items get a new life.
We believe in recycling the recyclables.
Raw material for brand new products.
And we believe in returning natural resources to the earth. And we believe in you.
We know you want to make a difference.
Let us help you do that.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows. And save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC+. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's PHILO.TV.
At 11 o'clock, we've got a cloudy sky. It's 86 degrees downtown at the Arch. A Missouri death row inmate is back in court for an evidentiary hearing.
This is Stuart McMillan, St. Louis County Courthouse, where Marcellus Williams came into the courtroom not wearing inmate clothing. His head was donned with a white head covering in the Muslim tradition, consistent with him now calling himself Khalifa. He seemed calm and collective, but not smiling. Judge Bruce Hilton has given 2 hours to each party to present their case. That's 2 hours for prosecuting attorney's office, Williams' counsel, and the attorney general's office. The goal of Williams' side is to get a reduced sentence after he was found guilty to a 1998 killing of a St. Louis Post-Dispatch reporter.
The extreme heat is affecting high school athletics across the region. Stacey Morgan is the athletics director at MICDS. She says the Missouri State High School Activities Association has strict rules about it.
So we use a wet bulb thermometer. We basically, this week we've been setting it out at 11 o'clock in the morning, and we take readings about every 20 to 30 minutes just to track what's going on.
Signs of heat exhaustion include headache and extreme thirst. If an athlete is not sweating, that is a heat emergency. In the months leading up to the deadly outbreak linked to deli meats made by Boar's Head, USDA records show inspectors flagged dozens of issues. CBS News reporter Alexander Tin has more.
We're learning more about the Boar's Head plant in Virginia that made the now recalled deli meats that were linked to a listeria outbreak that caused dozens of hospitalizations and 3 deaths. New records released by the USDA show that inspectors have flagged dozens of issues at the plant. That includes mold and mildew found around the site, a number of bugs like ants, gnats, and flies, and a buildup of leftover meat on equipment and racks that left a rancid smell.
Mizzou scientists are raging a war against nanoplastics floating in the world's bodies of water. University of Missouri professor Gary Baker says he and the team created a solution in the lab to remove it.
The versions we made are immiscible with water. So they, like oil, they will float on top of water. And it provides sort of a sponge to attract these nanoscale and microscale bits of plastic.
Baker says the solution eliminated more than 98% of nanoplastics in the water they tested. More tests are needed, but the solution could be scaled bigger to battle bits of plastic in rivers, lakes, and oceans. The KMOX business desk is NVIDIA, the new Apple.
The spotlight will be on tech darling NVIDIA today. Investors are betting on another blowout quarter for the world's most valuable chip maker. Investors are anxious to see the chip maker's quarterly results and whether it can once again shatter sales expectations for AI computing. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifels down 116 points to 41,134.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Get paid to save with Empower Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
A heat advisory through 7 p.m. tomorrow. This afternoon will be hot and humid with intervals of clouds and sun. A thunderstorm or two in the area. Watch for gusty winds and brief downpours, the high 93. Partly cloudy tonight, though 76. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg and the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company. Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL. 86. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you as we continue our week of saluting the trades leading up to Labor Day. Now, we talked yesterday briefly about the IBEW Local 1, how the birthplace of the IBEW is right here in St. Louis. And to give us more information about that organization and just really to praise all of the trades workers this week is Tim Green. He's the Executive Vice President of the IBEW and ECA Electrical Connection, and he has served in the IBEW for more than 40 years. You also might recognize his name as a Missouri State Representative and State Senator. Tim, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Okay, is it NECA or is it NECA?
It's both. It's the National Electrical Contractors Association, so it can be NECA or NECA.
All right, perfect.
So tell us about the IBEW. People know, I think, unless they're in a union, maybe all they know about it is that it is a union. They may not even know exactly what it is or what it does. Why don't you tell us about the history of it and its history in St. Louis in particular?
Well, the IBEW was actually founded in 1891 in St. Louis. We have a museum of the original building where 11 electricians, linemen met to form the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. It's at the 2600 block of Martin Luther King. But that's where the union was founded, and it was founded on the premise there was an electric expo in St. Louis at that time where you had DC power and AC power competing for attention nationally. So that's where it was founded. But the IBEW Local 1 is a union of about 4,500 electricians and about 3,500 retirees. And we are the electricians that take the electric from your meter into your house or into your building. So we install all the electric inside buildings, schools, homes, factories. That's what we do for a living. Basically, we are a union that has a 5-year apprenticeship. Everyone keeps talking about apprenticeships, and I always say there's an old saying, I was country before country was cool. The AFL-CIO building trades were pro-apprenticeship before apprenticeships were cool. Our apprenticeship's been around since 1940. I myself have graduated from the apprenticeship program. It takes 10,000 hours to graduate from our program. So basically, you come down and you apply at our apprenticeship school that is at the corner of Hampton and Elizabeth in South City, right up from Interstate 44 in Hampton. It's called the IBEW NECA Electric Training School. People apply. If they get accepted into the program, they do their first 2000s probationary, and they start out at 45% of the journeyman wage rate, which total package right now is roughly $28.03. After 2,000 hours, they get accepted into the school program. We are one of the few IBEW locals throughout the nation that pay our apprentices 8 hours a day to go to school 1 day a week for 2.5 years. The rest of the time of that 10,000 hours is on-the-job training. They work with different contractors. They do a variety of different things in the craft. We do everything from high voltage splicing, switch gear installation, all the way to low control wiring that does your thermostats, that does your heat control in your buildings. So if you're sitting at a Cardinal baseball game or a Blues hockey game and you look up in the ceiling and look at all the pipe ran, which is the raceway for all the electric and control work, that's done by an IBEW Local 1 electrician.
That's incredible. What are the qualifications needed before someone can join the apprenticeship program?
What we require is a high school diploma. We require a class in geometry because we do a lot of pipe bending, but the more math you have taken in high school or college benefits you. You have to be a U.S. citizen, and you have to be willing to work. That's why we have a probationary period, is so when they come out, that before we commit to the education, these people who have applied and been accepted in the program want to complete the program, because the contractors, as part of the wage rate, pay for them to go to school. So if they're going to invest, they want to make sure they complete the program.
So for somebody who is getting into the field, clearly you want people who are going to work, and it is it's skilled work. Certainly, it can be difficult work at times, but also it can be a great lifestyle. Why would somebody who's not quite sure what they want to do, why would they choose to go into this industry?
Well, one, electricity is a growing industry. A lot of your growth, besides the basic schools and the hospitals, is data centers are really big. They demand a lot of electricity. Car plants, the changing, they demand a lot of electricity, any of your manufacturing. So the technology is changing, but you always need electricity. The one cool thing I can share about being an electrician is you're never on the same job site for more than maybe a few years. A lot of times you're on a job site for 6 to 8 months. You get a variety. I have worked on hospitals. I've worked on schools. I've worked at research facilities. I've worked at manufacturing plants. It's a variety of a career. So you're not doing the same thing over and over. You have a variety of skills.
Speaking of technology and changing technology, how does or doesn't the rise of electric vehicles involve the IBEW with charging stations or whatever may need to be built?
Well, that's a great question. Actually, it was the IBEW that in 2011 helped create the Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Training Program, which trains electricians across the country installing these charging stations. So we've seen in the future of the electrical vehicle and the need for the charging stations. So a lot of our contractors were in the forefront establishing with our apprenticeship and our members the curriculum and the training. So we have that, and that is part of our apprenticeship program, training of these charging stations at these different facilities, because that's just going to keep growing.
My understanding is that for many of the trades, there is a shortage, or there will be a shortage over the next several years, that we need people to be in these industries. In terms of electrical work, my assumption is there's always going to be a need for them, but how much of a need is there actually for people to do this kind of work?
Well, currently we have about over 720 apprentices progressing through the program. All right. We just took in the last year 120 apprentices. We, on average, get applicants of anywhere from 700 to 800 applicants a year, and probably take in 200. Now, you have the baby boomers retiring, so there is a large group of retirement, but we are making sure that we are filling those and the increased demand on electric work with new apprentices. So we have a large selection of individuals trying to get in to choose from, and sometimes it takes over a year to get in because there's so many applying. But I also want to mention, you mentioned about careers and everything changing. We are just like a lot of other careers. After we learn the trade and we get our 10,000 hours, 5 years of training and working in the field, a lot of times we go back and do continuing education. We have 300 to 500 of our members that go to night school all during the week at our apprenticeship school to keep up with the changing technology and the new manufacturing pieces of equipment that have to be installed.
Just going back to the history of the IBEW, you mentioned how it was formed just even before the current wars with George Westinghouse and Thomas Edison, like what kind of current would be used. And then that was picked at the World's Columbian Exposition with George Westinghouse winning that war. That's a pretty extraordinary history to be tied into. It was the workers knew this is the way of the future and we're going to unionize. I mean, was that the sentiment then?
Well, if you look at the history, a lot of the sentiment was it was a highly risky career, and there were a lot of deaths installing this new technology. So these forefathers, these 11 individuals that sat down, knew that there was danger, whether it was climbing high poles, stringing the electric, or accidentally getting electrocuted. So they needed a reason that they thought if they stuck together, they could create better wages and actually a safer work environment. On that note, though, you were talking, one of the jobs I worked on back in the 90s was the Missouri Athletic Club downtown. And it was changing from an DC system to an AC system. And it was kind of cool because you were pulling out equipment and wires that were installed by people in the 30s and 40s. And some of the raceways had the initials and the dates of electricians that installed it. So that was changing it from a DC system to an AC system. And for those listening, DC is direct current and AC is alternating current.
Very cool. Well, you talk about the history and the different types of systems you'll be working with. The IBEW, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, you could be working in Canada, Guam, Puerto Rico, U.S. Virgin Islands. Is that so that you guys expand to all of those areas as well? And I imagine you may not have consistent systems that you're working with. You have to be ready for anything.
That's a great question. We can travel throughout the United States. The curriculum that our joint apprenticeship training with the IBEW NECA apprenticeship has is nationwide training. So those books being taught in the St. Louis schools are also the curriculum being taught in the California or Nebraska schools. One of the things in construction is sometimes there's peaks and valleys. And when we had the valley or the low work in the St. Louis region, a lot of our members traveled up to Nebraska and Iowa and worked at the Google data centers and lived up there. So when work is slow, we will get members traveling. And a lot of times when we're redoing car plant equipment, you'll see travelers coming in to man the jurisdiction as well. So yes, you have the ability to travel throughout the nation with getting a journeyman wireman card through the IBEW.
Lastly, from your perspective, and maybe you can speak only for the IBEW, how strong are unions today in the country?
I think their strength is growing again. One, especially with this apprenticeship and all the needs of all the different work being desired, that a lot of these industries have reached out to the union apprenticeship to educate them on how to run apprenticeships. And it's kind of neat. And plus, people are seeing the benefits of belonging to a labor union. I have a father that's been retired for 26 years, living still on his pension with health care. We work hard to earn the wages we deserve, but we're also allowed to retire in dignity with health care. So people see the benefits and want to be part of the union movement. So I think it is growing in popularity and support. And I think businesses finally realize we're a benefit. We're an asset to the community.
Tim Green, Executive Vice President of the IBEW, former Missouri State Representative and State Senator. We do appreciate your time. Thank you for visiting with us on Trades Week.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
That is Tim Green
Very
with
cool.
us. Yeah.
I love the history side of it. I mean, going back all the way to the Current Wars. I don't know if you've seen that movie, The Current Wars, with
I get it.
Benedict Cumberbatch
I know who
is
that
in
is.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's Thomas Edison. It's a good movie.
He might be. He might be. And unions are so, I don't have any idea. The unions are so important when it comes to just making sure workers historically are not working 90-hour weeks and are not put in dangerous positions and are actually making good wages, paid what they're worth. They're so important. And I don't think that we are in a union. It's a little bit different.
It's different. Yeah,
it's different.
I feel like
SAG-AFTRA it's a huge union. Actually, there are a lot of people represented by it, but it's different than.
I feel like
different
it's
types of
focused
skilled-
on actors and actresses. SAG-AFTRA in general,
Yeah.
more even. I feel like that's the focus for SAG-AFTRA. But
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of radio people around the country, television people around the country, local TV. So it is, look, these unions are important to make sure that employers cannot take advantage of you. So we appreciate the conversation with Tim Green today. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Stop for a moment and think about this. Do you know how much money in your 401k or IRA is actually yours? Or will the government take a bigger chunk than you thought? Remember, you still might owe taxes on that money. But do you have a plan to help make sure you don't pay more than you should? At Fira Capital Management, formerly Heisey Advisory Group, we believe you deserve to keep more of what you've earned, which is why we're here to help you navigate the confusing world of retirement taxes. It's your money. You deserve to know what's at stake. Right now, taxes are historically low, but they won't be this low forever. So call Fira Capital Management today so you don't miss out on this opportunity. 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400. You work hard for your money, and we'll work just as hard to help you keep it. Fira Capital Management, 314-328-4400. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. Firm may not give tax advice.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9-MILLION.
Did you know you can unlock the equity from your current home and stay in it while you find your next home or while your new home is being built? Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert, can do that for you. Here's a problem that many home sellers find themselves in. They want to sell their home, but where will they move? Plus, they need the funds from their current home to go purchase the next home. Well, Gloria gets it. And that's why she created her Sell and Stay program, which lets you sell your home, get the cash, and stay in that home for up to 12 months. Gloria Liu thinks of every dilemma a home seller goes through and provides a guaranteed solution. If you need the cash from your current home to buy your next home, here's my recommendation. Call the agent I trust, Gloria Liu, and ask her about her Sell and Stay program. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
No fights, just insights. Talking politics with respect for all. KMOX, your connection to St. Louis and the region.
LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited.
Neovitin? We're moving on from LeBron already? I told you we're having some some real issues today.
If that were just the whole segment, just LeBron James several times, right back to commercials.
Why did they play LeBron James 5 times in a row and then go back to commercial? Here's why we're bringing up LeBron James. So LeBron is a member of the LA Lakers, and his son was drafted. His son, Bronny James, drafted by the Lakers, is going to be part of the team this year. So LeBron was on in the middle of an interview, and was asked about how the two of them will interact.
What's your working relationship? What's your working locker room?
No, we already laid that. No, he can't. We already laid that down. You cannot call me dad in the workplace. All right. Once we leave out of the private facility and the gates close, I could be dad again. In the car, if we ride together. At home, I could be dad. No, he got to call me like 2-3 or Brian. Okay. Or, GOAT if he wants to. That's up to him. I mean, it's up to him. But it's easy for me. It's easy for me because I've been calling him Bronny for so long. It's not like I've been calling, hey son. So it's easy for me. It's gonna be the adjustment for him. But we cannot be running down the court and he'd be like, Dad, push the ball up, Dad, I'm open, Dad, come on. I'm like, no, you cannot do that.
That's pretty good.
All right. So I thought about this. Obviously, it would be weird if they're running down the floor and Bronny's open. It's like, Dad, throw me the ball.
I know.
That would be weird. There are a lot of people who work with their parents. You work at maybe a shop that your parents own.
Family business.
And other people work there too. Do you think it's weird to address your mom or dad as mom or dad when you're at work?
I think it depends on the business. If you own a family bakery and everyone's related and it's, a few people and maybe some, neighbor kids work there, I think it's completely fine to say mom or dad. But I'm 100% on LeBron James' side with this. At a big organization, so obviously the Lakers, but let's say you worked here. Let's say you worked at Enterprise or Purina. I think it would be really weird, especially if you have a parent in a position that is, above you, right? And you're like, hey, Dad, hey, Bob. It's not necessarily nepotism, but it would feel like it all the time.
Well, I've worked with a couple of people whose parents were the boss or worked at the company, and one person I'm thinking of now calls Dad at work.
Oh, really?
And Dad runs the whole show, which I always thought was like, okay, I get it because you're just used to saying Dad.
You can't.
It's not like you're going to call him Tim suddenly, though, right?
I think you have to.
When you're around other people and it's a pretty big office and there are a lot of people around.
You've got to keep it professional and you want to downplay that relationship as much as possible. Okay, I know this is totally different, but let's say you're in a romantic relationship with a coworker. You can't go around kissing them in the office because that's a little too familiar.
Well,
and I think calling someone dad and mom in the office is a little too familiar. I think it reflects poorly. I think it would behoove you.
If you're dating somebody in the office, can you goose them?
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, come on. You can't. You get a little pinch? You allowed to do that?
No, you can't do that.
Little tap?
That's harassment.
No, that's your significant other.
No.
I think you both have given permission to one another to.
No, you can't do that. You got to act
butt
professional.
tap in front of other people.
No, you have to maintain.
Can't get a little smoochy in the break room. You can't go into the kitchen and sit on his lap. Can't do that. What's wrong with that? Hey, love is love. Why are you trying to deny people of their love for one another?
Because it's not corporate policy.
Is it a smoochie? Oh, we're Amy and Tom. Oh, they're smoochy.
Oh my gosh.
They're smoochy right now in the kitchen.
You guys, yeah, no, it's not corporate policy.
Let us know if it's okay to make out with your girlfriend or boyfriend at work.
Or you call your mom or dad at work.
Leave us a voice message on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. We're going to talk some birds. John Rooney joins us when we come back on KMOX.
At Neovitin, we are all about supporting your nutrition, and that's why we are excited about our new Neovitin Omega-3 supplement. Neovitin Omega-3 is formulated with 1,200 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids to help support healthy hearts. Our high-quality omega-3 fish oils are sourced from wild-caught fish and tested for heavy metals. With our convenient monthly subscription, you can get Neovitin Omega-3 delivered right to your door every month with no long-term obligations. Support your daily nutrition and sign up for a Neovitin Omega-3 subscription at neovitin.com today.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty reminding you why pay more than 4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many markets' ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-ALL-4s. And remember, why pay more than 4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
A new study says 9 out of every 10 people leave money on the table when they file for Social Security benefits.
So if that's one of the things that you might have an interest in, let's sit down and talk about your questions, because I think that's the most important thing that it is out there. It's what questions do you have? I don't have a canned approach. I like to look at it, do a comprehensive retirement plan that fits you.
Join Steve All Saturday mornings at 10 right here on KMOX.
It's warm now, but winter will be here before you know it. That's why Banner Construction is having their pre-winter window event. Choose from Banner's various energy-efficient brands and window price points featuring beautiful Pella windows. Banner is a certified Pella contractor and preferred James Hardie specialist. If you've been considering new windows or a fresh new exterior for your home, see Banner's work at bannerconstruction.com or call 314-569-1050 and have a Banner day.
At 11:30, clouds and 88 downtown at the Arch. Palestinian officials say Israeli armed forces are conducting operations across the West Bank.
Israel's launched raids across the occupied West Bank, where its forces have killed at least 9 Palestinians and sealed off the volatile city of Jenin, according to Palestinian officials. Palestinian militant groups say they're exchanging fire with the Israeli military. The governor of Jenin, Kamal Abu El-Rub, said on Palestinian radio that Israeli forces had surrounded the city, blocking exits and entry points and access to hospitals and ripping up infrastructure in the camp. The Israeli military has confirmed it's operating in the city of Jenin and Tulkarm, but did not provide further details. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
High today, 93. Low tonight, 76. High tomorrow of 96. Sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. It's 88 at the moment. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This could be your final opportunity to secure the carefree villa home of your dreams at the Preserve in Afton. Our homes provide a lifestyle of convenience and relaxation, free from the hassles of lawn care, landscaping, and snow removal. With prices starting in the 400s, we will build to order or select from one of our 6 move-in ready designer market homes and save thousands, including special 3.9% financing if qualified. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
I see clearly now, thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youridoc.com.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in an accident and would like to know the value of your case, it's easy. Go to forthepeople.com and go to verdicts and settlements to see cases just like yours. You may see numbers that are much higher than what your lawyer's telling you. You see, all lawyers are not the same. Some may only handle a few injury cases a year. This is all we do. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy houses direct and as is condition. Did you just inherit a house and you're not sure what to do with it? Maybe it's got a lot of stuff in there and you're really not sure what to do with the stuff and how to sell the house. Well, we do a lot of work with people that inherited property. We're very familiar with the probate courts. So if you have a house you just inherited, please reach out today. We'd love to make you an offer and simplify your real estate situation. KLAMEN Group.com.
Now, the John Rooney Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you're a Missourian, we're for you.
A swing and a ground ball hit the bag, and it's picked by Machado, who throws on a hop to get the out at first base. And this ball game has come to an end. Machado throws out Arenado, and the Padres came back with 2 in the 7th, 1 in the 9th, to beat the Cardinals by a final of 7-5.
Well,
yeah, Cardinals dropped the first two of this series, so the best they could do is split it against the Padres. They've got a game tonight. 5:50 pregame show. Matt Pauley will take care of that. The first pitch is at 6:45. It's all here on KMOX. We go to the Quiver River Electric guest line today, and it is time to bring in the voice of the Cardinals, John Rooney, who is with us on KMOX. Good morning, John.
Good morning. How's everybody today?
We are doing okay. It's hot and muggy here in St. Louis. So this is a perfect St. Louis August day. Seems like it'd be a perfect August day to go to a ball game tonight. Cardinals need to pick it up here, John.
Well, they have to. And I was just thinking, you could probably take bits and pieces of about 7 or 8 of these interviews we've done over the years, put them together, and I wouldn't need to be on today. Because it's kind of a replay of what we've talked about over and over again. There's no margin for a mistake. A walk led to a 2-run inning that put the Padres ahead after Goldschmidt hit a home run. And then a wild pitch allowed an insurance run to score. And then it was too much to overcome against Tanner Scott in the 9th inning. But the Cardinals went 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. A hit here, a hit there. They won that game last night, but it didn't happen.
yeah, and I think I don't know if it makes it worse or better, but, the Cardinals have to win every series, like from here on out. And it's not just like losing a game, but it's losing a game that you could argue, well, they didn't deserve to win it. Like you said, 1 for 10. You've got to play better. That can add to the frustration when you are pretty much desperate now. You have to get wins.
Well, I mean, they've had to get wins for some time now, and Ricky Horton figured up that if they win series 2 out of 3 and split the 4-game series that we have, and we have this one, and I think we have another one coming up against the Pirates yet on the home schedule. If you split those, then you might be in position to go in, but that all depends on what the Cubs do, the Giants do, and how Arizona and San Diego are making a legitimate run at the Dodgers in the NL West. But the other two will probably be in as well. And then you're taking a look at what Atlanta does. Cardinals are staring up at a number of teams, but right now the only thing they can really focus on is taking care of today. And yes, they need these wins. They need to win the next 2 to split this series, or they're going to be in a position where it's going to be too difficult to climb over all these teams.
Talking with John Rooney on KMOX, and the Cardinals making a couple of roster moves. They bring in a reliever, Riley O'Brien, and they designated for assignment Sean Armstrong. It was a deadline acquisition. Why do you suppose it didn't work out for Armstrong?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask Jan Mozeliak and those who made the decision on that one. He pitched quite a bit, seemed to do a little bit better, but perhaps he wasn't the arm they expected or they were looking for, where Riley O'Brien is that kind of arm. But yet he had an arm strain that put him on the injured list after opening day. And I thought he was by far our best reliever in spring training. Man, he looked good with a powerful fastball, a very late-breaking, sharp slider. And he showed some of that last night, but a wild pitch allowed a run to score, and that was a blemish on his home debut with the Cardinals. But yeah, you'd have to ask Mo and those guys about that move.
Also, Wilson Contreras is on the injured list. That's just it's a broken bone for him, and it's happened now a couple of times this season. That's just some really bad luck for the catcher.
Yeah, it really is. It's terrible luck for him, where he had the broken arm after J.D. Martinez hit it with a backswing, and then he got hit by a pitch the other night when Lopez came up and in with a fastball and caught him on the finger, and he had that fracture on the throwing hand. No, it's no break for him. He missed 40 games with the broken arm, and he'll be out at least 3 weeks with this, we're told. So we'll see how all that plays out. I thought the team did a pretty good job of making their way along while he was out for the broken arm. So they played well over 500 baseball during that time. Pedro Paez developed into a really good catch and throw guy, started hitting a little bit. Ivan Herrera, though, when it was time for him to come back, Herrera had a bad back and was on the injured list and then was ready to come back, but so was Contreras. So Herrera was sent to AAA, and now he's back in the absence of Contreras. So it's kind of a revolving door there behind the plate for the Cardinals. And Contreras is a big part of their offense. So it's bad luck for him and bad luck for the Cardinals offense too.
Yeah, and Contreras, he's been, I know that he took it for himself. He took it very personally when things were not going the way he wanted to his first season in St. Louis, and worked very hard. Do you feel like he got to a better place where he needed to be, whether it's defensively or whatever else?
Well, he's not going to be a Gold Glove catcher, but he's a Gold Glove worker. I'll tell you that. He put in the work. He put in the time. His teammates really like him. He brings an energy to the ballpark, and he is all out to win. And those are positives for Wilson Contreras. And he's a wonderful guy in the clubhouse. As I say, the teammates are really behind him. And it was a very somber clubhouse in Minneapolis when we got to the post game there. And Contreras, it was diagnosed a broken finger. And it wasn't because of the 6-0 loss to the Twins. It was because they lost Wilson again to the injured list. So it's tough for a guy to come right in and make an immediate impact when you really don't know the pitchers. And we had several different pitchers last year, and a lot of things happened. But his off-season work, I thought, showed a great deal of improvement. And I think his pitchers have a lot of confidence in him. And yes, I think if he's not there, Chris, I think he's getting there to where he needs to be.
John, it's been tough for Cardinals fans. They rooting this team on, not seeing the progress they're hoping to see. What could you say is giving you any hope right now? Gossamer thread though it may be, what are you seeing that gives you some hope that you're holding on to?
Well, I mean, the work ethic is there. That hasn't changed from day one in spring training to right now. Paul Goldschmidt has been working and working and working. And when he's done working, he goes out and he works some more to try to find the swing. And the last 4 or 5 games, we're starting to see a better swing, better contact. He nailed that pitch for a home run over the bullpen in left field yesterday. And boy, that was beautiful to see. And up in a situation where we were hoping he could drive in a 2-out run, he got a walk. We haven't seen many of those from Paul this year. And it's very unusual. He doesn't have an RBI by way of a sacrifice fly either. But when I see work like that from Paul Goldschmidt, a dedicated pro, we see it from Nolan Arenado. And we saw it from Nolan Gorman before he was sent down. He just couldn't correct that swing and do what he needed to do to cut down on the strikeouts. And they're hoping that away from the major league level that he can do that at AAA and come back and make an impact, because that's a man with tremendous power and a really good double play combination in the middle infield with Mason Wynn. But I see the work ethic there. That has not let up. It's the same from Oliver's standpoint, managing, from the coaching staff, right down through the players, the pitchers, and everybody involved. That has not let up. We just haven't seen the results. And when the big boppers don't bop and they don't hit with runners in scoring position, a team just doesn't look that good. That's just the way it goes. But they have runners on base, that's for sure, to where you go 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They just need that damage hit that we've seen from teams against the Cardinals recently, where you're getting the 2-run homer like you got from Goldschmidt last night. We just needed another hit or two like that, and the Cardinals would be looking at going ahead in this series instead of trying to win 2 to earn a split.
Yeah, Andre Palante will try to get them that win in Game 3. He's starting against Joe Musgrove tonight. So for Palante, last 3 starts, and it's against some good teams. Kansas City, the Dodgers, Minnesota. His ERA combined 1.83. So he's pitched really well in those last 3 games. What is it about those starts? Why has he had that kind of effectiveness?
Because he has been able to get past the first 2 innings and some trouble. He's had traffic on base and then seems to lock in by the time you get to the second out of the second inning, or you get to the 3rd inning. And he retired the last 13 batters he faced in Minneapolis. I mean, he really locked in. He got the sinker into the strike zone, and then he could throw it out of the strike zone for some swings and misses. And he gets an enormous amount of ground balls. And he's getting a few more ground balls with the sinker from right-handed batters, where he has been able to get left-handed batters out much better so far in his young career. But it's also trusting the process, trusting what he has, going pitch by pitch, And I think he stepped off, took a big, deep breath a couple of times, and then went after Minnesota. And he went after the Dodgers, and he did so with Kansas City, and with great success.
So, John, the Sportscasters Forum put on by the Missouri Broadcasters Association is happening September 19th at Live by Lowe's Hotel, which is right across the street from Busch Stadium. You will be taking
I might
part.
go to that.
What's that?
He might go.
You have to.
I might go.
You have to.
Oh,
I think I might go to that.
Your name is on the list. You have to go.
John, this is awkward. We have been telling everybody that you're going to be there.
It says John Rooney, Ricky
I was
Horton.
thinking about it.
Yeah, Claves, you have to go.
We have Polo and Benji who will be there. Tom
Awesome.
Ackerman's going to be hosting a session. Matt Pauley will be the moderator for, I think, our first session where we talk about game prep and from the play-by-play standpoint, Ricky and Brad Thompson, and maybe we can talk Jim Edmonds into joining us too. I'd like to think we could because that would be wonderful in dealing with players, coaches, and managers, and the best way to go about that when you're trying to find out information or conduct interviews and some of the experiences that we've had. The stories will be good. Just everybody who's coming, bring some good questions, and that's a place where you can interact for an hour and a half, and pick up on some things. I really did back in the mid to late 70s with the Kansas Association of Broadcasters, who put on one of these forums at Royal Stadium, and it was very entertaining. They were playing Cleveland, and Joe Tate was there. Joe was doing the Cleveland baseball and Cavaliers basketball, and that's what he finished doing the last 30 years of his career, doing the Cavs. But he had some great stories about his broadcasting career and what he did to prepare for various sports. Denny Matthews, Fred White were in on that, and Dev Nelson recreated a game. He did the Kansas State games. Tom Hedrick was there talking about football and basketball at the college level, as he was the voice of the Jayhawks at the time. And I thought that'd be nice to do with the Missouri Broadcasters. And the Missouri Broadcasters Association is behind it all the way. KMOX is behind it all the way. And we'll have some fun. The stories will be great. We had a symposium in Peoria that Charlie Steiner puts on every year at the Charlie Steiner School of Communications at Bradley. And it was Lynn Casper, who was with the Cubs at the time, now with the White Sox. Charlie Steiner, John Miller, and I, we were the baseball panel. And we had a lot of laughs, had a lot of good questions, and just a great time. And I hope the students there and broadcasters who came in for that learned something. And I think they will attending this.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a great time. September 19th at Live by Lowe's, the hotel right across the street from Busch Stadium. For tickets, it is MissouriBroadcasters.org. And not only do you get the sessions, the forums, you get to go to those, learn from these broadcasters. You also get to go to the ball game that night, and they provide you with lunch. So it sounds like a great deal. MissouriBroadcasters.org. The registration deadline, by the way, is Tuesday. So you will want to get in now. Thank you, John Rooney.
All right. Always good to be with you. And let's get together and do this again next week.
Let's do it. Next week, Wednesday, we'll talk to John Rooney right after the 11:30 news. Tonight, though, first things first, Cardinals will take on the Padres again. Game 3 of 4, 5:50 pregame. Matt Pauley's got that. And the first pitch at 6:45. You can hear it on 11:20 a.m., 98.7 FM, 102.5 HD2. Sorry, don't want to leave that out. And, of course, the Odyssey app. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're here for all of life's wins. Like when you get a new car, or new boat, or new driver, or when your son moves out, but your mom moves in, or you find out you're expecting again, or when one rental property turns into 2, then 20, or you realize they're all in Tornado Alley. Life is full of life events, so call your Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance agent or visit mofbinsurance.com to find an agent near you, and we'll make sure you have the right coverage for each of life's wins.
We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we're for the people of Missouri, in good times and in bad. We're for Missouri families and Missouri communities. We're for giving back to those communities and lifting people up. And when Missouri weather rips through our state, we're for helping put back the pieces. We're for brighter days and new tomorrows. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. And if you live in Missouri, we're for you.
Saturdays are made for soccer. Presented by Michelob Ultra. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly.
Oh, Rowan Berge, a huge save! Oh!
Catch St. Louis City Soccer anywhere you go on the Odyssey app. Or grab your friends and catch the game at any City on Tap location, bringing City SC fans and beer together.
Hi, my name is Indiana Voslev from St. Louis City, and Saturdays are made for soccer.
Brought to you by Together Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of City SC.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Call 314-334-2522 to schedule your free in-home estimate today. And for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free plus 0% financing for 60 months. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to uwd.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
One of the country's most storied collegiate soccer rivalries is coming to City Park in downtown West. Sunday, September 8th. Don't miss St. Louis University and Southern Illinois University Edwardsville men's soccer teams facing off in the historic Bronze Boot Clash. Both universities' women's soccer teams will also take the field, promising an action-packed day of competitive local NCAA Division I soccer. Get your tickets now at SeatGeek.com. That's SeatGeek.com. At Scrubbles, we're not just about cleaning your car, we're about giving you the freshest ride inside and out. Join now and enjoy a special offer for new members. For just $9.95 per month for the first 2 months, experience the benefits of our Scrubbies Graphene, Ultimate, Super, or Deluxe memberships. With 7 Scrubbles locations open and another coming soon to Wentzville, your membership is valid in all 8 locations. Visit ScrubblesExpressWash.com today to purchase your Scrubbles membership and find a wash near you.
213 Flashpoint Complex will take you to the next level. It increases your metabolism, fights cravings, gives you all-day focused energy with no crash, and at night, it helps you burn fat by lowering cortisol levels. 213 Flashpoint Complex is available at Supplement Superstores. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
When it comes to retirement, you don't need to worry or sweat the small stuff if you have Sachs Financial on your side. Sachs Financial, home of the Retirement Compensation Plan. SACHS, Sachs Financial, because income is the outcome that matters. RetireSafeSTL.com.
Broadcasting from the Underline Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX. Finally, something Ranji and I agree on. Keep your kids and your dogs under control.
Control your young. Control your young. That's what you're saying.
Seriously, dude.
So
Seriously.
This is in relation to our, did you see this segment where an urn, a historic jar, you could say, with 3,500 years old.
Yeah.
A 4-year-old was walking. Bronze Age jar. A 4-year-old was walking through the museum and reached up to grab the rim of this urn and vessel, pull it down to see what was in it. Of course, it shattered into a gazillion pieces. This vessel was so rare because it was, quote, intact. It was intact crockery from the Bronze Age.
It's the point is you have got to keep your children under control.
You know what I think people love? I think they love when you sit there and berate parents.
Sorry.
I think they love it.
Sorry,
I think there are a lot of moms and dads going,
what?
that single guy is absolutely right.
I don't care if they like it or not, because I am in society, and if I have to deal with your children,
not
it
your
affects
urn.
me. What do you mean?
You didn't
It's the
make it.
people's urn. And now it's not anything. It's just broken shards.
Broken crockery.
That's all it is.
We have a text from Michael. What's wrong with that museum that it did not have a valuable piece of pottery behind glass? It was apparently open for theft, breakage, etc. Open for breakage, he
Wait,
says.
so we're blaming the museum?
Yeah.
You can't blame the museum
He's saying,
for that.
why didn't you have... Now, first of all, I've been to the St. Louis Art Museum many a time, and they have their ancient artifacts section. They have mummies, but they also have all of the urns and vessels, you know, the crockery. They have a lot of ancient crockery all behind glass. Although there are some on pedestals, which terrifies me.
Yeah.
You know how,
Yeah.
what is you have a fear like that, like you don't trust yourself, you're going to drive off a bridge or something. I have a fear that I'm going to...
Bumping into something at a museum?
Yeah. When
Mm.
I see something ancient, beautiful, or valuable on a pedestal, and it's not behind glass, I do fear that I will somehow break it.
I'm not very clumsy. So I'm not really worried about something like that.
You have the appearance of a clumsy person.
I'm
That's
not,
what's
though.
funny.
Not even clumsy. Not even a little bit. I'm coordinated.
Are you?
Yeah.
On that same point of Ronnie calling LeBron dad at work, I grew up without my dad, so I never felt comfortable calling anyone else dad. So when I got married, I would just look directly at my wife's dad or mom and speak to them. I would never say dad or mom.
That's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
And everyone has their different family journey as well. However, I've never gotten the in-laws as mom or dad. I think they do it in the movies, but I
yeah.
don't know anyone who does that.
I can see it if...
Really?
I can see it if you're very, very close, or maybe they have become like a father or a mother to you. I can see it.
I don't see it. Because in the movies, right, that's the thing. The girl meets the guy, they get engaged, and he's like, hey, dad. And then the dad looks unhappy.
Well,
I've never seen that.
Well, I've never done that. I just call myself daddy in public. I've done that.
That's so
Yeah.
much worse than breaking an ancient...
That was real. No, it
urn.
isn't.
Yes,
That
it is.
hurts nobody.
It hurts everyone. It hurt me, and I knew that story already.
Oh, did I do it to you?
Have you? I have been victimized.
I think I just told you about it.
No.
I did it to you?
This guy has, we need to get his brain checked so many times in the coffee shop downstairs.
Yeah.
We order our coffee. He leans in and says loudly to the entire cafe, Daddy's got it. And then I want to die.
It's the best.
No.
It's so good.
It's gross. He does it to men and women. He's an equal opportunity offender, I guess.
You're welcome. Trades Week continues. When we come back, we're going to talk to somebody in IT. Do you know what IT is exactly? It's got something to do with Hooters. That's all I know.
What?
Computers.
Oh, jeez.
That's when we come back on KMOX.
Hi, everyone. This is Ben, board certified master arborist with Timberline Professional Tree Care. Here to talk with you about removing dead, dangerous, and unwanted trees from your property. Timberline has recently invested in cutting-edge equipment to remove your trees in the safest, most efficient way possible. In fact, our robotic tree removal can remove trees in about half the time as conventional means, with less manpower and thereby saving you a ton of money. This is just one of the ways that we continue to innovate. Timberline has a cost calculator on our new website, stltreecare.com, which can provide you a guaranteed tree removal quote instantly from the comfort of your own home. Don't hassle with trying to get your brother-in-law's cousin or whoever to come cut your tree down. He's never coming. And that guy that won't call you back, he's never coming either. Save yourself a bunch of time and money and call Timberline Professional Tree Care today at 636-479-7475 or use the cost calculator on our brand new website at stltreecare.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Do you feel like you're going through life clouded by doubt? Talk to California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7. And we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyond's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
At 12 noon, it's a partly cloudy sky, 89 degrees downtown at the Arch. This newscast is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Our top story, MoDOT is finally replacing the damaged girders on the I-55 overpass over the Union Pacific Railroad. MoDOT area engineer Jen Wade says these girders were damaged when the contractor was breaking up the old concrete layer last year.
Unfortunately, when the contractor went to do that, they ended up causing a lot of damage to the girders underneath. So much that it wasn't a sound idea to keep reusing those same girders, those I-beams that hold up that concrete portion.
Wade says they anticipate the specific overpass being finished next fall with the time lost, but the other 13 bridge projects should be finished by the end of the calendar year. Missouri death row inmate Marcellus Williams returns to court in hopes of reducing his sentence. Williams was found guilty 2 decades ago for stabbing a Post-Dispatch reporter to death.
12,000 pages of evidence have been submitted to the court from the Attorney General's office for the judge's review in this case. All of those documents are here in the courtroom in at least 15 plastic tubs. In opening remarks, the Assistant Attorney General, Michael Spillane, pushed back against the idea that the knife used to kill the Post-Dispatch reporter back in 98 was not mishandled, as the Williams side claims. Spillane said whoever committed the murder was wearing gloves, no fingerprints on the knife. There was nothing wrong with holding the knife, he says. After things are tested, they can be handled. The prosecuting attorney's office declined to give opening remarks to not take away from their time with witnesses. At St. Louis County Courthouse, Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
Ukraine wants less U.S. caution on weapons.
Ukraine's daring ground offensive has taken the fight to Russia, but not nearly as much as its leaders would like, because they say the U.S. won't let them. Philip Breedlove, a retired U.S. general who led NATO in Europe from 2013 to 2016, tells the AP the war's going to end exactly how Western policymakers decide it will end. He continues, if we keep doing what we're doing, Ukraine will eventually lose, because right now we're purposely not giving Ukraine what they need to win, while EU Foreign Affairs Chief Josep Borrell says lifting restrictions on long-range ballistic missiles would strengthen Ukrainian self-defense, save lives and reduce destruction there. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are hitting the road and the airwaves.
Harris will sit down with CNN this week for her first interview since becoming the Democratic nominee. Walz will join her, with the interview airing tomorrow night. The Trump campaign has been hitting Harris's lack of media access. While she often speaks with reporters on Air Force Two, the sessions are off the record, meaning her words cannot be used.
Why doesn't she do something like I'm doing right now? She can't talk.
She wants to represent America all over the world, but she's terrified to face a friendly media.
The interview will be conducted in Savannah, Georgia, as Harris and Walz kick off a bus tour through the state later today. Sagar Magani, Washington.
The KMOX Business Desk, Facebook, changing focus.
Meta Platforms is pivoting. The tech conglomerate plans to close its augmented reality studio, Metaspark, to focus more on other areas, including AI. The company now plans to spend as much as $40 billion on infrastructure to support the AI technology, including hardware, data centers, and servers. Kimberly Adams, Bloomberg Radio.
The Dow from Stifel down 123 points to 41,126.
Intervals of clouds and sun, hot and humid this afternoon with a thunderstorm or two in the area, the high 93, then partly cloudy tonight, though 76. Tomorrow, sunshine and some clouds, very hot and humid, high 96. This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling in the heat of summer. If your air conditioner fails on a hot day, call Comfort Solutions Heating and Cooling. They carry the Lennox line and offer no interest for 5 years on a new Lennox AC unit. ComfortSolutionsSTL.com. Partly cloudy sky, 89 at the moment, downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Get paid to save with Empower Checking, a new high-yield checking account. Visit togethercu.org/empower.
Chris and Amy on KMOX Hour 3. And we are going to the Quiver River Electric guest line again on this salute to the Trades Week that Amy and I are taking part in this week. And
Taking part.
being
We're
a part,
hosting it.
yeah, it's us, really, isn't it?
Salute to us for
if it weren't for us,
hosting this.
if it weren't for us, there would be no Trades Week.
Well, I mean, on the show.
Sounds like the only people who care are you and I.
No, come on. That's a terrible thing to say.
Well-
no, I'm just saying we're hosting it this week because the trades are worth saluting.
They are, with this being Labor Day week, and on the Quiver River Electric guest line, Evan Gunmestead is with us, an IT division chair and instructor in IT, and we welcome Evan to the show. Thank you for being with us today, Evan. How are you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Doing well, thank you.
So here's what I know about IT. There are a couple of guys who work in an office down the hall, and when something goes wrong, I say, hey, something has gone wrong. Come fix it. What exactly is the job of IT?
Yeah, great question. It's an umbrella. I often say, if you studied to be an engineer, well, really, what does that mean? There are so many kinds of engineers. Just like there's so many kinds of IT professionals. And so that can mean exactly what you just said, which is where a lot of our graduates start at an entry-level help desk position. Something breaks in corporate America, and these are the people that are going to come to your desk and fix the problem, whether it's your printer, your laptop, your desktop, your tablet, anything technology related, your network. And that's where a lot of our graduates get their foot in the door, but then you can work your way up the corporate ladder. You start dealing with things like servers. You start dealing more with security, more with routers and switches. And that's kind of the second tier of all the IT corporate jobs, which are under the umbrella of what you could call an administrator. And so there's technicians, which are your entry level. And then there are administrative jobs, which are higher level, typically better pay, but it comes with more responsibility.
Let's go back to that IT umbrella, and maybe you could give people an idea of the scope of that umbrella. And I say this because I didn't realize how big that umbrella was until like family and friends that I have that are, quote, in IT. And when I introduce like this friend to this family member who are allegedly both in IT, they're like, yeah, I have no idea what that guy was talking about, because it's a completely different branch of it. How big is that scope?
It's funny that you say it that way. And so my personal experience getting into IT in the early 2000s, so it's been roughly 20 years, I'm still learning every day. All the different job titles, and there's new job titles all the time, right? Mm-hmm. And so the first thing you'll learn about this industry is that it's always changing. And that holds true in this conversation. There's new job titles. There's job titles you haven't been exposed to. There's responsibilities you haven't been exposed to. So if the question is, how broad is this umbrella? How wide is this umbrella? I've been doing it for over 20 years, and I'm still learning every day new things that I didn't know existed.
In terms of learning things you didn't know existed, are there new aspects being added? And as far as like new duties that somebody who's in IT might take with as technology continues to advance.
Sure. All the rage in the last 2 years, if you've opened a web browser, if you listen to the news, everyone wants to talk about AI. Obviously, the introduction to tools like ChatGPT and large language models has changed a lot of the landscape of IT. And so, I would say that learning to adapt and use these tools and how to make them a tool in the toolkit for people who, for example, for the developers who write software and code websites and build apps, and they can leverage these tools to help them do that job more efficiently. So I think that answers a little bit of your question.
Yeah, and I'm also wondering, because for a long time it was, and you kind of hear this from people when somebody says, I got to, change careers, and the advice they're given is, well, you better learn to code, because that technology is so prevalent. Is it still like that? Is it changing, or if it is evolving, how so?
Yeah, sure. Great question. As long as I've been doing this, again, I've been doing it for over 20 years, the direction for our industry has been up and to the right, more jobs, better paying jobs. There's not enough developers. There's not enough people learning to code. And it's been up and to the right. Now, the industry as a whole is seeing a little bit of a downtick. And so I will, say that since 2020, overhiring, tons of jobs, and it's regressed down. But if you look at the trends, we're trending back up. So we've seen a little bit of a dip, and we're starting to see trending data coming out of that dip. And I believe the future is up and to the right. And certainly you can look at projections about our industry from the United States government over the next 10 years. And of course, our government is projecting fast, rapid growth in our industry. So I think, if you look at the industry as a whole, for the last 20 years, it's been up and to the right. We've seen a little bit of a downtick, but again, that's been after, what I would say the last 2 years, but we're coming out of that.
Yeah, and it looks like you said, and the demand is there for workers skilled in this field. An average starting salary for the industry is $51,000 per year. But if you're in this field, you quickly have the potential to earn an average of $97,000 a year, which is more than double the national average across all industries, meaning a great career choice and a demand for capable workers.
It's been an incredible thing to experience as a student of Rankin Technical College myself, and now as an instructor, being able to help so many people get a start in their career. When you look at what it costs to go to school typically, and then how the ratio of what that cost is over your earning potential, whether you're just starting out or 3 or 5 years experience, our students coming out of the IT division earn great salaries, especially factoring in what it costs to go to school. And those numbers that you listed are, I don't know where you pulled those numbers. However, I will say very realistic numbers that talking to our graduates, those are right in line with what our graduates have seen historically.
In terms of a learning process, you get into one of these skilled trades, under the IT umbrella. Is it the sort of thing where it's easy to jump from, one particular aspect to another if you decide that maybe the thing you're doing is not exactly what you want to be doing, or something else piques your interest?
It's a great question. They are skills that complement one another. And so is it easy to go from one area to another? All the areas provide their own challenges, but knowing even a little bit about the different areas, those skill sets will aid you in learning the new material. Yeah.
Evan Gudmested, IT Division Chair and Instructor, we appreciate your time today. Thank you for teaching us a little bit more about IT and what it means.
It's been great. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
That is Evan Gudmested, again, visiting with us. And I know I wasn't joking, but sort of. That's what I think most people think of IT. Something goes wrong at the desk at the office, something wrong with the computer, the printer, the whatever. Oh, the IT guy will fix it.
Or-
the IT person down the hall, I'll just go talk to them and they'll come in and take care of it, but not really knowing exactly what the job is.
No, or at home where I'm like, I can't get into my email. You're in IT. And they're like, that's not what I do. I can help you. That's not what I do. I don't just help people get into their email, although that is part of it. The umbrella's so wide. And I mean, literally, I had family members and they're both in IT. And when they talk about the specifics of what they do, they both look at each other like, no, it's a completely different area. And I'm like, what? But you're both in IT. Like, I don't think you know what that means, Amy.
It must be annoying for them.
I would imagine
that people don't know exactly precisely what it is. Remember it's an SNL sketch, and I think it's Jimmy Fallon, where they're in an office and people are looking for help, and he comes up to the desk and he treats everybody like, how do you not know this? And then he just goes, move, so that he can get into the desk and figure it out. Yeah, we have a couple of really great IT guys here.
They're here a lot.
And they will explain things to you. And then once they've explained them, they will continue to explain them. And then keep explaining. And then
because they don't want you and your dumb clicky fingers to mess anything up.
And then you have to say, Robert, please stop explaining. I got it. Great guy. Love him. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji, KMOX.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9-MILLION.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien High Efficiency Tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
If you're thinking about selling your home, I'm sure there are two things that you want: certainty and the most money, right? This is Debbie Monterey, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know that the agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis's real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first call when looking for an agent. Gloria does not make empty promises. She provides written guarantees. What does that mean for you? Certainty. Certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she will buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis's real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Tommy! I can't wait for golf this weekend, huh, buddy? Time flies. Love you, man. Oh, don't forget your knee brace again. We aren't in college anymore.
Moments together matter, so help protect yourself from RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV, and there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Hi, this is Kent Newbold for Newbold BMW. Do not trust your BMW to some quickie lube place. Bring it to our award-winning service department. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
In the know, on the go. Trust KMOX for local news that impacts St. Louis and the region. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Remember, Amy, we talked about Q and the Lou being canceled. It was supposed to be happening in a little over a week in downtown St. Louis, but we got the story yesterday that it had been canceled because of lack of VIP ticket sales, corporate sponsorships, and concerns about safety. And we both poo-pooed that idea of safety.
We did poo-poo. Even though we've talked about crime in St. Louis, Q and the Lou has been here for 10 years. By the way, their Denver Q and the Lou event
didn't go well,
and they canceled the one in Dallas. So I do feel like they were trying to pull one over on us by saying that they suddenly decided to cancel because of crime.
Well, it turns out we were absolutely right about that. Alexis Zotos of KMOV interviewed the promoter of the event, and they said, well, we had, St. Louis has had a lot of events like Blues at the Arch. They had 15,000 people with no problems. All the issues at Keener Plaza. It wasn't about safety. It was about money.
Sales. They didn't
it was not
sell
about the safety.
Tickets. They didn't get the corporate sponsors they needed, aka they didn't have the money. But
don't
trash a city like
exactly.
That is not just a party foul. It's actually semi-destructive. I mean, we've talked about St. Louis. Yes, it has its reputation, but you can make improvements, and the perception is always going to trail behind the improvements. We get that. However, to have malpractice or mismanagement on your side, and then to point a finger at a city and trash it and say it's because it's so crime-ridden, nobody wanted to go, that is criminal. You can't do that. Stan Kroenke.
That's what it felt like. I said that yesterday. It felt like Kroenke trashing the city on the way out on a much lower level. It just had that same sort of vibe to me.
Yeah. So, well, thank you for the follow-up. All right. We talked about this briefly earlier, but special counsel Jack Smith yesterday filed a superseding indictment in the election interference case against former President Donald Trump. So it's very, very similar to the first indictment on January 6 charges, but he did trim up the allegations against Donald Trump in light of the Supreme Court's immunity ruling. So they haven't dropped any of the 4 charges that they initially brought, but they did carve out some of Trump's alleged conduct, including his allegations about the attempt to use the Justice Department to promote his false claims of election fraud.
The way I think the simplest way to explain it is it's sort of like a rewording after the immunity ruling from the Supreme Court. They kind of had to define things better, or in some cases more broadly.
And
that's what this
I
is.
think it was because of the personal conduct versus like official conduct rule part in the Supreme Court ruling.
Also, CNN announced yesterday that they will be conducting the first joint interview with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, who are running for president and vice president on the Democratic ticket. There have been people calling for Harris to do a sit-down interview with the media outlet. It turns out she's going to do that, but she's going to have her vice presidential candidate with her. That's fine with me. And for people who have an issue of her not doing a solo interview, there is nothing preventing Dana Bash from asking her direct, pointed questions that people want answers to. Just because Tim Walz is there, she still has to answer these questions.
So here's a question I would ask, because, I mean, maybe you have a minute to think. What question would you ask Kamala Harris if you had the opportunity to sit down with her? And here's one.
Well, here's one I would not ask.
Okay.
Don't ask anything about interviews. That's a waste of time. Ask about issues.
Well, I would ask this first before I even got to the issues or the policies. I would ask her, up until a week before Joe Biden stepped down, Kamala Harris is on record saying he is sharp as a tack. Did you not know the actual condition of President Joe Biden, or did you willingly lie to the American people about it? Because you can't say he was sharp as a tack up until like 1 week, up until he stepped down. And I just went point blank. She can probably get around it. She could say, well, it's one of those things that happen slowly. But my question, first and foremost, would be, did you not know his condition, or did you lie about it?
Well, here's what we've seen him since the debate, and he has not been anywhere near as awful as he was at the debate. That was particularly terrible, and everybody saw it. I'm not sure how she'll answer that question. I do think they're going to ask it of her, but I'm not sure how she'll respond.
Here's my other question, and I would ask, right? To an extent, immigration was part of your purview as vice president. What would you do differently, if anything, as president to address the immigration issue?
She'll probably bring up the border bill. It's a good question, and she has brought up the bill.
But once she's president, right? What is she going to do? Because we know, 74% of Americans are unhappy with Biden's policy regarding the border. Those would be I would have more questions, but those are two that come to mind.
There is a great headline, just a story that I find to be very interesting in STL today, that was posted not too long ago. I'm going to bring it up later in the show because we don't have time right now. It's
it's a good one.
It's funny to me. It's just a little amusing, but we're going to continue Trades Week. We're saluting the trades. When we come back from KB Electric, we have a couple of representatives. We're going to continue to talk about electrical work when we come back. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Well, how about fences or decks? STL FenceWorks, here's a way to support a locally owned company and a family-owned and operated company, and that is STL FenceWorks. They are proud and excited to install American-made aluminum and vinyl fence products, as well as American-made decking. For instance, STL FenceWorks has teamed up with Jareth Manufacturing. Now, Jareth invented the aluminum fence industry over 50 years ago. Their product is wholly sourced and manufactured right here in the U.S., and STL FenceWorks is the third largest Jareth customer in the world. They've also partnered with National Vinyl Products that can provide you with tan, clay, gray, and variegated wood grain vinyl fence products as well, all made in the U.S. A fence can really change the feel of your yard, give you some privacy, make it easier to let the dog out when you need to let the dog out to do his business in the morning or late at night. And STL FenceWorks is the very best. Visit them today at stlfenceworks.com.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are focusing on lung cancer, and joining me is Dr. Whitney Brandt.
treatment of lung cancer has really made dramatic changes over the years. Lung cancer screening, more patients are getting detected earlier, and survival is getting better. In addition, just with patients who have more advanced cancers, there are better treatments.
Special thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty reminding you why pay more than 4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many markets' ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than 4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Welcome to Willie's Wings, home of the secret sauce.
I'll take a dozen wings. Oh, by the way, I love that sauce. What's in it?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
It's a secret.
While many financial advisors claim to have the secret sauce, they don't. In fact, if their sauce is so good, why are they keeping it a secret? Steve All of the All Financial Group doesn't keep anything a secret. He knows there's much more to retirement planning than stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. He'll develop a strategy designed specifically for you. It's your own secret sauce for retirement. Call Steve today at 636-230-8824 for your personal portfolio x-ray. Call 636-230-8824 or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Fine, you want to know what's in the sauce?
Absolutely.
Tablespoon of paprika.
Really?
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
At 12:30, partly cloudy, 90 downtown at the Arch. Parts of the country still sweltering under very high temperatures. CBS meteorologist David Parkinson has the details.
We're expecting 20 to 30 new record high temperatures today as the heat now expands to the mid-Atlantic and East Coast. Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, making it up to 100 degrees today. That's a record. Even Raleigh in North Carolina is tying a record at 100, and perhaps the worst, most oppressive heat anywhere comes down in Nashville, where they will get to 105 degrees today, and they'll feel hotter than 110.
The Cardinals had a one-run lead in the 7th inning last night, but could not hold it, and they end up losing to the Padres by a 7-5 score. Miles Mikolas makes the start against his former team, going 5 2/3 innings, allowing 4 runs on 6 hits, 3 strikeouts, and 1 walk. Paul Goldschmidt hits his 20th home run of the year. Cardinals have lost the first 2 games of the 4-game series against the Padres. The series continues tonight. Andre Palante on the mound, looking for his 7th win. First pitch at 6:45. Our coverage begins at 5:50. With the Redbird Report, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
High today of 93, low tonight 76. For tomorrow, hot, humid, high 96. Sponsored by DesignAirService.com, St. Louis leading air conditioning and repair service. It's partly cloudy and 90 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Charlie Brennan here. If your AC stops working, don't suffer. Design Air Heating and Cooling offers same-day emergency service. Call Design Air at 314-739-1600, designairservice.com.
One of the country's most storied collegiate soccer rivalries is coming to City Park in downtown West. Sunday, September 8th. Don't miss St. Louis University and Southern Illinois University Edwardsville men's soccer teams facing off in the historic Bronze Boot Clash. Both universities' women's soccer teams will also take the field, promising an action-packed day of competitive local NCAA Division I soccer. Get your tickets now at SeatGeek.com. That's SeatGeek.com. Whether you're looking to fill low spots in your lawn, backfill that new retaining wall, or mulch your trees and flower beds, St. Louis Composting has the compost, soil, or mulch you need to help your plants and garden look its very best. Visit our website, stlcompost.com, for more information.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Barry. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery on select smart beds when you add any base. Ends Labor Day. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
213 Flashpoint Complex will take you to the next level. It increases your metabolism, fights cravings, gives you all-day focused energy with no crashing at night. It helps you burn fat by lowering cortisol levels. 213 Flashpoint Complex is available at Supplement Superstores. Find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
For everything St. Louis Cardinals, it's Cardinals Conversations. Use the Odyssey app or hear it on your favorite podcast platform. From game analysis, player and management interviews, it's exclusive Cardinals content from KMOX Sports, where the Redbird talk never stops. It's electric!
Such a great song. Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores with you.
Well, the reason we're playing this is,
as you may have realized.
as you may have heard.
Anyway, that's a good shout out to our buddy Kevin Wheeler. Yeah. But we are saluting the trades this week. We've been focusing on electric, I think, so far this show. And we're excited to welcome into the studio KB Electric President Paul Conan and Project Manager Kevin Renaud, representing KB as we salute the trades this week. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All
so,
right, wait.
guys, what is electricity?
No. No, I actually have to say something before we get down to serious business. Loyal listeners of the show may recall that I was critically the assistant coach of the 2024 Incarnate Word 5th grade boys basketball team. We have in this room right now the head coach.
Oh, the head coach.
We do.
Oh.
That after saving all of their wins, meaning they didn't need any in the regular season, they went on a hell of a run in the playoffs, and it was really something to be witnessed. But this is the head coach of that team.
Is that why you played This Is Electric?
That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That's what we were thinking. So, you are both friends of Amy's, right?
Well, I mean, Paul and I, no, I just met Paul.
Just met Paul.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you guys do?
Oh boy,
who wants to start?
We're electrical contractors. We've been. My grandfather started the business March 1948, and been around for 76 years. We do everything: industrial, commercial, residential. Yeah, that's our niche.
Service work, you name it, we pretty much do it.
And as you mentioned, 76 years, started up in Florissant, doing tons of work up there. I mean, truly a family operated business.
Yeah, pretty much when it was farmland back when they started, and that was when the housing boom started. And that's how Jack and Tucker started the business back then. And it kind of rolled from there.
So sort of a family thing,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
I mean, you kind of stayed in the family business. Not everybody wants to do that. Why did the two of you decide to go along with what the family had been doing prior?
Well, I didn't know what I wanted to do after high school. And thankfully, Paul's uncle, Steve, who was running the business at the time, him and my dad talked and was just like, what's Kevin going to do? College, what? And he's like, I don't know what he wants to do. So he said, hey, do you want to be an electrician? And I said, what's an electrician? And he's like, why don't you go sign up down at the IBW Hall? And so I went down there, signed up, and that was back in 2003. I started my career out in the field, and now I've transferred into the office. So it's I've seen both worlds.
That's funny. You say that because we were talking earlier about how you get into a business like that, and people maybe who graduate high school or don't graduate don't really know what they want to do. They don't know, and instead of going to a 4-year school, this ends up being a terrific career.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is an unbelievable career for any kid or even adult that wants to change their career. The electrical industry or just even the construction industry is a huge market that can definitely help families out for sure.
You mentioned something that we haven't really talked about: changing careers. that people who are already in something are not happy with it, they don't like what they're doing, how difficult is it to say, you know what, I'm going to completely pivot. I'm 40 and I'm going to do something else. How difficult is it to make that transition?
It can be pretty tough. I mean, our industry is tough on your body and everything, which some people don't really talk about. But other than that, I mean, it's, you get in, if you like working with your hands and stuff like that, I mean, you got to use your brain too. So it's not just working with your hands. You got to be able to think, and sometimes you got to think on your toes and, make sure, if your guys' place all of a sudden went down, we're going to have to show up to try to figure out what the problem is and figure it out to get you guys back up and running as quick as possible.
When you, like you said, you kind of happened into this business with starting as an electrician, not really knowing what you were getting into. How did it match your expectations or, lack of expectations if you weren't sure what it would be?
The one cool thing is you almost don't do the same thing every day. So one day you might be installing an outlet, and that's what most people are like, oh, all you do is sit on a bucket and install the outlet. So how hard could it be? Well, what they don't see is the backbreaking work that goes behind the walls, above the ceilings, in the dirt, everything that goes beforehand of putting in the outlet. So there's a lot of things that go behind the scenes too, as Paul can tell you, he's an engineer, that designing the projects that go along with it. So there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that people don't really see. All they see is, I plug in my lamp and it turns on, So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that actually goes along with our trade that is pretty cool.
So, Paul, to Kevin's point, how much does go into what he's talking about?
There's a ton. I mean, first of all, anywhere from, starting the project, designing it. We've got draftsmen in-house that, go about putting together plans, buying out the material, all the pre-planning, getting together with the other trades, making sure that nobody else is running into each other. I mean, it's like planning for the biggest party you can imagine. I mean, probably wedding planning is pretty similar to what we do on the project management front.
When you say making sure nobody's running into each other, what do you mean physically?
Not with the
that too.
That
seems like a safety thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that is a big part of our business nowadays is safety. So, I mean, safety is a huge part in it. But what Paul was saying is, like, we have 3D models now that people can go in and look at a computer, and we can see where the HVAC guys are going to run their ductwork, and we can't have conduits running straight through them, because that's just not going to work. Anything from a wall being built to, the plumbers coming through where their pipes are going to be at. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into some of these projects, especially on the design side.
Yeah, and I can imagine the coordination of how far you are along in the projects, where the other areas might be, and there can be holdups as far as that goes. What about perhaps the difference between working on a residential project versus a commercial project?
Yeah, residential is a little bit easier. I shouldn't say that too, because Tom and Morgan are probably listening right now and gonna be like, hey, but on their end, they deal with face-to-face customers. So, and on that is on the residential side, it's a lot different. On the commercial side, you're going to start a job and we might not even know who the real customer is. So you might be building a project that the name of the customer, but you don't really know who's behind that you're going to talk face-to-face to. Where in the residential side, you're talking to somebody face-to-face. So if we come over your house, you're talking with that person, and you can they can be very blunt on what they like and what they don't like, and, stuff like that. So I would say the residential side deals with, homeowners and people face to face. On the commercial side, it's a little bit different. I would say the office side probably deals with a little bit more of the customer base, and the guys on the field more just deal with the superintendents or the general contractors. So
how often does it happen where you install something, you do something, it's done the way it was ordered to be done, and then the customer says, I don't know about that, maybe let's try something else?
You'd be shocked on how much that happens.
And then how much swearing do you do?
I heard a long time ago, if you don't swear, you're not a smart person. So
Yes.
That's
You're exactly
don't tell
right.
him that. This guy,
He's right.
Yeah.
We tend to be smarter than everyone else.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to get a little off your chest, and whether sometimes it comes out not too nicely or not, it can happen.
It's the people that don't swear that you got to worry about.
what? Don't look at me. I don't like this interview.
Well, you scheduled it.
This is like those people that change their mind halfway through the project.
She's gonna go home, dance, and be like, "All right, we're gonna work on this right now. Let's go."
Thanks for having us, Amy.
You're welcome.
But you can still bill. Okay, let's say you've done a project, you've done your part, they want it redone. You're billing the entire time, right? Like, so you're yeah.
Well, I mean, there's multiple pieces that go into that. So a lot of times we'll call that a change order. So usually what'll happen is the owner will come in and say, "Hey, the way it was designed, we really liked it, but now seeing it up front, we don't like it." So they'll say, "Put pricing together." So we'll have to go back, put pricing together, put it in front of them, and then they'll decide whether or not they really want to spend that money or not. Then there's other aspects of we screwed up, and it might end up we might lose money on it because we did something wrong. And it could be to where the plans, from the office side, we didn't give them the plans, to the proper plans, I should say. But there's also times where we've had it to where GCs, there was a mix up between the ownership and the GC, and we
general
didn't get
contractor.
Yeah,
Is that what you
sorry,
mean by
general
that?
contractor. Yeah, sorry, I'm
Lay
talking
people
lingo
here.
Yeah, I'm talking lingo here. Sorry. So the general contractor might not have given us the drawings, which then ultimately comes back to either the owner or GC might be eating that cost. So
I know with, like you said, you're never working on really the same thing. It's always different. So has there been a project, whether it's residential or commercial, that has kind of been a challenge, like that exciting challenge of like, how are we going to figure this out? And then you have to figure out how to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's every other project for us. I mean, we're doing school bus chargers for Flow Valley coming up. We're doing photovoltaics or solar panels, and we're getting into that.
Electric vehicle
charging
stations.
Stations. We're doing PFG's big refrigeration space. So we bounce all over the place.
How much is that the electric vehicles and solar power, all of these things? How has that changed the industry?
A lot bigger market.
Yeah.
So we like that.
I would say within the last few years, it's starting to get a little more popular. But I think also, it also depends if people find out, hey, Ameren has a rebate, we can get some of the money back that you're spending up front. So that kind of plays in it too. So everybody's kind of looking at the charts that Ameren has, and if they're saying, hey, we're running out of money, if you want it, you better get it. And we got customers trying to figure out, okay, is it a smart investment for us or not? I just did one for RGA, and they thought maybe we'll have 2-3 vehicles. We installed 6 chargers at their location. All 6 spaces have been filled every day since we've installed it.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's kind of a hit and miss depending on what company it is.
Now, just going back to the history quickly, because like we said, 76 years, founded in Florissant, really contributed to that rapid growth there. So you're talking, then it started residential in all of those homes that we have, a lot of the homes we have in North County.
Correct.
So I ask because my parents grew up in North County, I guess in those neighborhoods that were built in the 50s.
Yep.
So a good chance KB Electric put some electricity in those homes.
Very good possibility.
I think that's very cool.
Well, guys, we appreciate you coming down, taking time out of your workday to come talk to us and educate us, because we don't know what's going on. We're saluting the trades because we don't know anything about them.
Well, I think this is awesome that you guys are doing this, because not, for the longest time, people look down on the trades, and now we're so shorthanded that there's a big push now to try to get more trades people to become into this industry. And it's really tough, especially the way the market was between COVID and everything. A lot of work was happening, and a lot of work is still happening. And all I can say is, if you want to be a tradesman, please do your research, get out, sign up, and try to join a trade.
Kevin Renaud, Paul Conan from KB Electric. Thank you for coming in, guys. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Underlaw Injury Lawyers GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Saturdays are made for soccer.
Parker elevated now ahead! And it's in! City lead!
Catch St. Louis City SC soccer anywhere you go on the Odyssey app.
Oh, Roman Berkey! A huge save! Oh, Roman Berkey!
Saturdays are made for soccer. Brought to you by Together Credit Union. Together Credit Union, the exclusive banking partner of City SC and Academy of the Sacred Heart. Independent Sacred Heart education since 1818.
At Scrubbles, we're not just about cleaning your car, we're about giving you the freshest ride inside and out. Join now and enjoy a special offer for new members. For just $9.95 per month for the first 2 months, experience the benefits of our Scrubbies Graphene, Ultimate, Super, or Deluxe memberships. With 7 Scrubbles locations open and another coming soon to Wentzville, your membership is valid at all 8 locations. Visit ScrubblesExpressWash.com today to purchase your Scrubbles membership and find a wash near you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We can get more sleep, we can get more sun, and we can get more exercise. But the one thing that we can't get more of is time. It's time to eliminate the one phrase that could be holding you back from reaching your retirement goals. I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's time to pick up the phone and make the call to Gary Goldberg and the team at Financial and Tax Strategies. 618-361-4232 or online at checkwithgary.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., an SEC registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Gary Goldberg, NPN number 918615.
At 1-800-GOT-JUNK, we believe.
We believe in repurposing the junk we make disappear.
We donate the donatables so that a new family can love them.
Those items get a new life.
We believe in recycling the recyclables.
Raw material for brand new products.
And we believe in returning natural resources to the earth. And we believe in you.
We know you want to make a difference.
Let us help you do that.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Tune in to the Home Improvement Show, sponsored by Mosby Building Arts, Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX for expert advice on remodeling, design, and construction. This live Q&A show begins at 11 a.m. or find podcasts at mosbybuildingarts.com.
I'm Brad Young. This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Hi, I started in IT back when it was still called data processing, and it was a division of the finance department reporting to the treasurer or something like that. And I've been in it from 1980 to 2018. So I've seen everything from the birth of the PC to the explosion of the internet to multiple platforms to the cloud. I wouldn't go back into it now. I sincerely doubt it, because you might start off making good money, but I think they're working our people to death.
That's not good. That's probably not true everywhere. I understand where he's coming from on that, but
I don't
appreciate the voice.
We appreciate the voicemail. I didn't want to end on a down note.
Hey, voice messages are welcome anytime. AUDACY. Honest opinions are welcome anytime too. That's perfectly fine.
Hey, what's this headline?
Oh my God, Amy. So STL today, they posted this story about, about 25 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And the headline is Kamala Harris may be energizing Democrats, but Southeast Missouri voters aren't impressed.
Well,
okay. Which in itself is funny. It's like saying, we went to Busch Stadium. No one there's a fan of the Cubs. Like, okay, obviously. It's not really news.
The
but
Dodgers just signed Shohei Ohtani. Cardinals fans aren't impressed. Well, obviously.
Yeah, I know. And the best part of the story, you click on it and you open. And by the way, STL Today, Post-Dispatch, they do great work. You open it up, and the very first line is them talking to Rush Limbaugh's uncle. Oh, Rush Limbaugh's uncle doesn't like Kamala Harris?
Oh, is that what it says? I don't want to assume. You know what
Wow.
happens when you assume.
Look, you're not your family. I know that people and families have different
Yeah, we don't
different
know.
feelings.
Did you read the story?
Yeah, well, it's Stephen N. Limbaugh Sr.
And not a fan
Um,
or a fan?
Not a fan.
Okay. Well, see,
He is not a fan.
I didn't want to assume. And see, they didn't want to assume. So they assumed nothing.
That's
and
right.
They went to Southeast
Look,
Missouri
hey.
and said, let's find a Limbaugh. Maybe they're impressed.
Hey, RFK's family hates him, so it's not necessarily true that Stephen N. Limbaugh Sr. would hate Kamala Harris. Now, I don't know if he hates her. He just
Oh,
he
yeah,
doesn't
he didn't
seem
say
to.
that again.
He doesn't seem to like her. I thought it was really funny. It was like, oh, we went to Southeast Missouri, and they don't really like Kamala Harris. Well, yeah, I get that. Of course not. That's just not a region of the country that votes Democrat normally.
No. Well, but I would like to commend them for doing their due diligence.
At least it wasn't in a diner. What is with going to diners to interview
Well,
people?
I think it's trying to humanize politicians who are otherwise viewed as kind of living in the DC bubble.
No, I mean reporters
Mhm.
going to a small town and finding a diner and interviewing people in the diner. Is that the only place people
I
hang
think,
out?
let's say it's a New York Times reporter, and they're trying to imagine, because a lot of New Yorkers, right? They don't even have a driver's license. So they're trying to find, where do real Americans hang out? What is it you do in the Midwest? Because you have California, which is the West Coast, New York, which is the East Coast, and every other state is the Midwest to those who live on the coast. So I think the reporters go to the diners because they are trying to figure out,
It does seem that
how does an American live?
it does seem in the story that Limbaugh Sr. likes Tim Walz. So that's good. It says he likes him, except he turned Minnesota to the left. So I don't trust him in that respect.
I think that's actually a really good, fair assessment. I think that's objective and honest and not mean. Because Tim Walz is pretty liberal. I mean, he's not necessarily a moderate, but he's also has that, like they're saying, Midwest dad with the camo hat vibe. He has a likable vibe, which is important in an election because as much as you don't want it to be a popularity contest, a lot of times it is. So you do have to go through the policies, just like when it comes to the excitement, the quote, joy and hope, right?
Yeah.
That we saw being spoken about. You have to remind yourself, oh, wait a minute. Words like freedom and joy can mean different things to progressives and conservatives.
Guess what, Amy? 69 days until the election. Say it.
No.
Say it. Nice. All right. Anything you missed on the show today is on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Download it. Mike, send us a Mike message there, too, if you want. We'd love to hear from you. Dave Glover's coming up next. We are back with you tomorrow at 10 o'clock before Cardinals Day Baseball on KMOX. I feel like we have been bamboozled.
We have over $34 trillion in national debt.